you can do it. A lot of persons are doing it, and you can do it. It is not a rocket science, and many of you, it's your first time as well, so you can do it. All right. So I just wanted to just share some of the things with you. Now, today's class, we're going to be talking about principles of UI design. Now, in every organization, even in your workplace, there are principles that guide how you work. Now, in design, there are principles that also guide us in our design. So I'm going to share some of them with you. And at the end of each one that I share with you, we're going to have a quiz, and you let me know which one is the correct answer. And I may call you up just in case to explain why you also said that answer is the correct answer. So don't just give an answer, but have a conviction. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is to guide you to understand that what you give as your answer, is backed up with a very good reason. Now, one of the principles is the principle of alignment. Now, it says basically that alignment in UI design, it refers to how you basically arrange elements. You may ask, what are elements? This is an element. Your text is an element. Okay, these are just words, in how will I say it, in UI UX design. They're just terminologies. Okay, a text is an element. Your image is an element. Your button is an element. Your icon is an element. All this, your shape is an element. The box is an element. So it's basically how, it basically refers to the arrangement of these elements. And I think I gave some of them, like buttons, your text, your images, and you are trying to align it with the goal of creating a structured and organized layout. You want everything to be structured. I think I explained that in one of our team members' work. I think I don't know if that was confidence or if it was Mr. Enron. So, and I showed how everything was properly aligned. And I think I also gave an example when I said, if you take up this out from the grid line, you see that it's not properly structured. So alignment is basically aligning things properly. It's like folding your clothes and keeping it nice and neat in a wardrobe. That when you just carry a lot of things and you just rubbish it everywhere, it doesn't look good and pleasing to the eyes. So that's one of the principles. Now, the benefits of alignment is that it gives clarity. It's very easy to understand what you want your user to basically know or to see. If I basically, align my text, some are left alignment, which I'll talk about is so some are on the right, some are the center. It's very confusing. Okay. Now, the second benefit in making sure that when you're aligning is that it has to be readable. So meaning that when you're designing, make sure that what you're designing, I saw that most people, for example, will give a body text 12. It's very small. It's not going to be readable. You may zoom in and you can read it, but when you play it, you won't be able to read it. And that's why I said, when you're designing, I always say, click on this. Who is joining at this time? I'll address this later. Judith, your hands are raised up. I just saw your hands are raised up. Have you got any question?
No, that was then, not now.
Okay, please put down your hand so that I will know, since it's a legacy hand. Thank you. All right, great stuff. So, and I said that, back to what I was trying to say. I said, one way to design is once you've created your frame, all right? In fact, from the point whereby you were trying to set your ruler for the hero section to know where your hero section should end, click on this, the title of your frame. Come to this play button, and which is called present. Have it side by side. Can you see the other file opening? Can you see that? Can you see this?
Yes.
Great stuff. Have it open. All right. This is how it would present on a laptop, on a desktop. If you're using a laptop or a desktop to basically do this. So when you design, if you type TechMind Academy, for example, you go and check, how does this look like? Is it readable? When you type and it's clustered, look at it. Is it readable? Is there enough space? Do I need to? When I say create space, does not mean give so much space. All right. You look at it. Is it readable? Is it clear for anyone to see? It's easier that way. So you design small, you go there, you check. It will help you align. And for those of you who came on Tuesday, I also talked about that, and I saw that it basically had an impact in your design. Now let's move over to what we're doing. The next is that it provides consistency. When something is properly aligned, you know, it gives you that consistency. Like I can see that, okay, it's all left aligned. It's much easier. It's nicer. Okay. And the beautiful thing again as the benefit is visual appealing. It appeals my eye. But if I do something like this, let me just make a copy of this one. Let me show this. Let's say I do something like this. It's not appealing to the eyes now. If you look at it, you wouldn't even like this. You will come here and say, what's this? Right? And all that. But when everything is properly aligned, let me just delete this. When everything is properly aligned, it's visual appealing. That's also what I mean. You can see it's appealing. Everything is, you're not having some that are shifted. You are not having some that shifted like this, and then this one, it's properly aligned. Now, I'm going to teach, before I teach you something, I'm going to just move to the last one. The last one is, how many types of alignment do we have? Some of you may have come across this when you were basically designing. Now, we have got the left alignment, we have got the center alignment, and we have got the right alignment. These are things I believe you're used to, maybe on Microsoft Word. Now, if you come to your property panel, remember, for you to activate, you can see if I don't click on any text, your text property would not activate. Right now, you can see your text is not being activated. But if I click on a text or I write a text, any one of it, okay, you can see that your text tool has now been activated. This wasn't there before, now it's now there. And I talked about that this basically is to change the different font style. So always try to experiment. I will talk about using a right font style for what type of project you're doing when we get to that class. This is your font width, I've explained. This is your font size. I've also explained line height. I will come to paragraph spacing. I'm always liking to do things when we get to that point so we don't confuse ourselves. So for this section, leave it. Now, the next one I'm teaching you again is this one. This is your alignment. You can see this is left aligned. You can see it's highlighted. It's already showing that it's left aligned by it creating a box to show you that this is left aligned. If I click on this, it's center. If I click on this, it's right. Okay, so it's left aligned. Now, that's the 3 types of alignment that we have got that would also enable you to design effectively. Now, let me show an example of a left aligned, a center aligned, and I'll check if I do have anyone that is right aligned. Obviously, this is a left aligned. It starts from the left. Okay, so all these are left aligned. It starts from the left. You can see it's also showing left. Let's look for a center. This is a center. You can see it's showing center. This is also a center. It's showing center alignment. I don't have a right alignment, but if I come across any design that I do have right alignment, I'll show you. But it's not always used like that much and all that. So that's why you really don't find that, because the reason why is because we basically read or see things from left to right. That's how we read. We read from starting from our left to the right. So that's why you don't really have most things designed on the right alignment, only on few cases. Okay, so that's the reason. Bonus tip on getting a good alignment. Now I'm going to teach you something that would help you in aligning. Now I'm going to turn on my grid. This is your assignment for next class. So just in case, I'm already giving you a spell of it. So you can see that everything is aligned to the edge. Every single thing is aligned to the edge, and that's how you should be. Remember, it promotes consistency. It's visual appealing. It is well, the benefits we mentioned. It provides readability. It's clear and all that. So you can see, you may ask, okay, but sometimes I try to put it, but sometimes it may shift and all that. Maybe it may shift to something like this and all that. Sometimes I'm not able to know. How do I go about it? Now, this is how to do it. I have taught you how to activate your ruler. This is your ruler. Can you see this 50, 100, whatever? It's your ruler. But I would go over again to explain in case in your own feedback this is not already activated, how do you activate it? You come to your Figma down here. Scroll down to that's your Figma icon. You scroll down to your view. You can see that the ruler is checked. If I uncheck it, you can see that that stuff is not there again. And most of you, your Figma is like this. It's not there again. What do? You click back to your icon, you go back to your view, and you click on your ruler. You can see it has appeared. So I think this should solve some of the questions I got this week. How do I get the ruler so I can do my hero session? That is how to do it. Now, apart from this ruler helping you in your hero section, it also helps you in alignment. It's not only for hero section, it helps you in your alignment. What do I mean? Now, you can either decide to use the vertical one, all right? So I can decide to put this to be able to guide me. What did I do? You may ask, what did I do? Let me start again. You see the cursor is in this format, an arrow format. When I get it closer to the ruler, it gives me this, that, I don't know what to call it. It gives me two cornered arrow shape. Let me put it like that. All right. Now I left click and I drag out. Okay. And I'm gonna drag it down to the edge of wherever I'm trying to align. For example, I'm trying to align to make sure that everything falls at the edge. So I put this, and when I'm typing, you have to make sure that this wherever I'm typing stops at the edge. So you can see it's everything is at the edge. It helps you to align. I also do this every now and then, regardless of how long I've been doing UX. I still do this till today. Is that a question? Yeah, Richard.
Yes, please. I need you to just recap from this very section now how to do this alignment.
Okay. Is it from how to activate the ruler session or how to drag the line out?
Yes, from how to activate the rule and then to drag,
No,
please.
no problem. We'll do that. All right. So I'm just going to go back to that. I'm going to delete this. Now, most of us may have this ruler already on our Figma, because I already talked about it the last time, but most of you may not have this. How do you activate it? What you do is this: on your tool panel, you come to your Figma icon, you scroll down to your view section. All right, a pop-up box on the right will appear. You can see that mine is showing because my rulers are ticked, it's marked. All right, now if I untick it, like unmark it or uncheck it, you can see that that ruler is off. It's no longer there. So if I'm trying to drag something, I can't see, there's nothing to drag. Nothing is coming because you can see rather it's dragging the layer panel that did not send it to do. Now, how do I activate that so I can use that effectively for my alignment? You click on this Figma. You click on your view. You can see it's not checked. I check it. I just click on it. Automatically, it appears. Now, I said that you can basically use. So now, how do you activate it? Sorry, you've activated it. Now, how do you get the lines? You can see your arrow section is, is having a normal arrow pointed, right? When I get closer to the ruler, you can see that it gives you these two arrow. Let me put it like that. All I need to do is just left click and drag it out, and the line is out. So you can either drag both horizontal one, this is your horizontal, right? You can also drag vertical. Both of them can also be used for your alignment. Both of them can be used for your alignment. Now, let's say, for example, I want to align to ensure that all my text is being at the edge. Maybe because the grid line, the end of the grid line, sometimes I miss it out and all that. All you need to do is just drag the line you have brought to that particular place and then type. So you now know that when you drop your text to, it should start from the line. It will not then help you guide that whatever you are designing will start from this edge. You can see I also use it that if I had made a mistake, you guys would have actually pointed out to say, you've also made a mistake. You can see everything is aligned properly. Is that a question? Yes, Mr. Moses. Mr. Moses.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'm just looking at what you're doing. I think I'm getting it better. Sorry for not submitting my assignment no excuse for it, and I believe it will happen again. But there's something I noticed from what you are showing us now. I want to ask, would you, like I saw that on your this thing, the what you're working on, all the upper tests are all aligned up, or not on the vertical, but on the horizontal. Is it what you used to align it? Like I saw Tech Mind Academy, I
And
saw
then mhm.
everything here is aligned. Do you use that to align it too?
Great stuff. I'll teach you how to align properly your logo, your text, and your button. Because at some point I also realized that most of us were basically not positioning it rightly. Like you rightly said, you can see that everything looks aligned, and you ask yourself, how do you do this? And all that. I think somebody got it right, and I don't know how the person did that, but I think that should be Mr. Edwards. So well done on that. But most of us had little spacing here and there. It wasn't properly aligned. And I'm only coming to Edward because I only went through 3. I haven't gone through or everyone. I mean, like in class and all that. So please, in case you got it right, don't say, "Oh, does it mean that mine is not right?" I'm talking about the 3 people that showcase their work in class today. So, Mr. Moses, I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. After the class. But that's a very great point to raise. I'll show you how to do that. Let me just finish up with the vertical one. Is that okay, sir?
Thank you.
No problem. So it's the same thing for images. It helps you to also basically align. You can see everything here is properly aligned. Now you may ask, but this image is not close to this place. Is how I thought to design it and all that. So if you look at the design, I made here center align. So I have to make sure that whatever I'm designing is at the center. Okay, so it depends on what you are trying to design and all that. But if what I was trying to design was going to start from here, I will push this to this point. So I had to also put this here so that you wouldn't say, oh, but yeah. So it's because I wanted this section to be a center aligned, to be at the center, sort of. And now that's why I even made the title and the body text center. And I have to put this content and design it as well at the center. You can see the button is also at the center. And then you can see back to the footer, everything is properly aligned. So if I had made any mistake, you would also see that this would have, if I had made a mistake, you would have seen that this would have been like this. All right. And that will guide you to say, oh, you are shooting across. So it's the same way you align both. Sorry. What have I done? A second. Okay. So it's the same way you align on the edges. It's the same way you also align when you're also designing inside. Let's say, for example, you're trying to draw this box. All right. So this is a box. I'll teach you how to do this before I give you your assignment. You don't want to write something. You also drag the line here. Maybe this is where you want to start writing. You drag the line here and then you start typing. It will guide you to ensure that everything basically is aligned and all that. Everything basically is aligned. So that's how to do that. So that's one of the alignment tip that would help you to ensure that things are aligned properly. Now, let's move on to a beautiful question Mr. Moses asked. How do you basically align your hero section, which is your logo or company name, the navigation, and these buttons as well? How do you align them properly? Now, this is basically what I do. It is not a principle. It's something that I found out on my own side that has been very effective, and I have stuck with it till today. Now, this is what I do. I first of all will put in my logo or my company name. For now, I don't want to stress you guys to start looking for logos or start designing logos. So for now, I'm just saying write the company name, right? So I basically will type my company name first. Then the next thing I do is I create the button. All right. I go and create the button and put the text. I do this one as well. Now, how do I align it? I would come down to the ruler, the horizontal ruler, I will drag down. So I try to put this at the center of the text. And then when I put this line at the center of the text, my main aim is to make sure that this sign up, the line is at the center of the sign up, the text inside the box. First of all, you must have make sure you've aligned your text and your box together. Now, how do you align it? You click on the both of you, click on your sign up text, you press shift, and you click on the box, it will highlight everything. You come to align horizontal center, and it should align. You can also then click on vertical center if you want. It will properly align that as well. So that's how to do that. So to make sure that your sign up is at the center. Another way to do it is doing it manually. So you zoom in, okay? Then if it maybe something like this, you zoom in and then you try to gauge well. You can see that when you get to the center, you can see the red boxes start showing a cross sign. You leave it. It tells you that this is at the center now. So that's a manual way to do that as well. Now, once I've done that, next thing I said is to drag your horizontal ruler, and I try to place it somewhere at the center, like in the middle of sign. You just try and gauge where could be the middle of this. Now, this is you. Now, then, it's just a transferable skill. How do you, when you are trying to arrange things properly in your home, you're positioning it so it's properly well. You're just applying that here. So now I may feel like this may be the center for it. All right. Then I try to now by then I would have grouped in my home, my about us, and then I bring, you can see it's all here. And then I bring it down to make sure that it's being positioned at the center, like in the middle of it. I also make sure that the Academy, TMA Academy, if I have to drag down, if I have to like use my button, so I can use my button up arrow and down arrow, and I try to like drag, put it, okay, maybe this could be my own middle, or this could be my own middle. I'm just giving an example. Let me just put everything back so I don't make a mistake for your assignment. Now, so that's basically how I get to do it, and it has worked for me effectively. I don't know if that was understood. If you understand what I have said so far, using the horizontal and the vertical ruler to guide you your alignment, please pop up a Y on the comment box. If you don't understand or you've got a question, please pop up an N. I expect every one of you to do it, please, so I get to know. Great stuff. Lola, you've got a question. Lola, feel free to unmute. You've got a
No,
question.
it was just a mistake. Sorry.
Okay, so just legacy hand. Okay. Mr. Moses, you've got a question. You said a Y and N. What's the confusion again? And
Okay.
I'll be happy to
My
explain it.
I understood what you just said now, but I have a question on the same
Okay.
thing now. My question is, how do you import icon, logo, and pictures? Because that's one of the difficulties I found. Like now, what you showed us now, how do I create that sign up that it will be the way your own is now? Because I told you last week, this is my first time of hearing about this whole thing. So when I started creating, I got so discouraged that I just couldn't be able to replicate what you were doing. So you got me discouraged. But now I'm seeing what you're doing, I'm understanding it better. So I think what I want to, how do you import all these pictures? Like I noticed that somebody can import logo. For instance, I want to import Instagram logo and fixed in at the down. I saw some of them down. So how do I import it? And then now I can align it well. But how do I import it first?
No problem. That's a very
I know how
good
to
question.
write the this thing, but how to import those kind of things like Instagram, WhatsApp, all those kind of things, and their core icons. And all that.
Okay. Okay, sir. I would answer that question. Let me also see if that's the same thing with Judith. Judith, you put up an N.
Yes, please. I don't know when you got to where I saw something like cross. You said the cross line. I didn't know how you got to that stage.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
What I'll do is this. I would explain everything together, and I'm sure you pick out, and I'll try to pinpoint when the question you've asked. So I'm going to start with Mr. Moses. First of all, the icons. I'm going to teach icons today and how to import it and how to use it on Figma. On the design of last week, I took off the icons. If everyone, I'm sure you guys all saw it, I took off the icons from your assignment. The reason was because I had not taught icons, so I didn't want to confuse you, because there are different types of icons which we are going to talk about today. So I will show you how to get the icons, where to get those icons, how to basically, what icons you should use depending on what you're doing, and how to put them on Figma. I will show them today in class. It's part of the things we're going to discuss. Now, for images, I actually also showed us one form of getting images to our work, but I will show you the second form today as well. It's part of the things that I'm also going to show you today, how you can get images. I showed you one using plugins, but I will show you right now how the one I showed for last class, and then the that ones that I'm going to show, I'll show it at the point when we get to that point in today's class. Now, I think the third thing you talked about is, remind me, there's one thing you talked about again.
Icon, logos, and pictures.
Okay, so that means
And how
logos,
do you create
the
sign
button.
up? Just sign the
Okay, that
button
sign up
sign up.
button. That's the one I'm just going to show you. So the icons, the images are the same process of bring them on Figma. So I'll show you how to do that one. So I'm going to first create the button, show you how to create the button. And then Judith, what I'll do next is I'll show you manually. In case if the other one is a bit difficult, because I do understand sometimes most people, struggle with that, but it's good to learn it as well. That's why I show you the easier way and I show you the other manual way as well. So I'll also show you the manual way on how I got that cross to show me that what I have aligned is at the center. So I will start with creating a box. So let's say I want to create a sign up box, right? So I'm going to draw, you go to your toolbar, you click on a rectangle, you just drop a rectangle. Okay. Now that I've dropped my rectangle, the next thing I'm going to now then do is I won't make it corner, because the truth is one good way to be able to identify a button is giving it a corner radius, like make the corner curved. It's more pronounced as a button than when it's square. When it's square or rectangle, you could confuse that or mistaking that as a box, or maybe a box. Like for example, we've got boxes here and all that stuff. So one way to make it distinct is by giving it a corner radius. Now, how you intend to give it depends on you. Now, how do you do that? You select the rectangle box you've created, you come to your property panel, and then you increase. There are two ways to increase. You can either put your cursor to change here and then you drag, or you can just type. So I can type 20. I feel like, do I want it like this? So that's now your choice. But if I give an assignment, I expect that you should do the assignment to look like this. You can see that this and this is far different. All right. But if it was your own personal project and you're happy with a button like this, it's okay. But don't do it so much it doesn't look like an oval shape or a cycle. So I may want to reduce down and say 10. I mean, look at this 10. It's almost there. The hair is a bit small rounded on this corner. This one looks still more rounded. I click back on that and I can say, okay, let me give it like a 5. And I look at this. It's like a 5. Now let me check. I didn't even cram this, but let me check. Okay, it's even a 5. So great stuff. Now it's a 5. You have done your button. All right. Now, the next thing you do is to be able to give, let's give the color, let's give the button color. Now, I told you there are two ways to get your colors. How do you get your color? You click on the rectangle, you come to your property panel, on the fill section. If you click on this box that shows a box with color, this is called the color swatch. You can set any color you want. Now, if any color you want is not here, you can adjust to green and you get all the green. You can adjust to blue, you get all the blue. You can adjust to this type of blue, purple, red, yellow, and all that stuff. All right. So you can decide to select color. If you already know the color you're going to use from here, imagine if you're designing your own project, you can select your own color here. But based on the fact that at the moment you've not started working on your own project, you're rather working on imitating the assignment that I've given to you. I said the way you can do that to make sure you're getting the right color is using your color picker. So what do? Make sure that this is selected. You go to your fill. This pop-up box comes in. You pick up this color. This is an eye, like an eyedropper. It's called a color picker. You click on that. It tells you, where do you want me to pick the color from? It's highlighted. So you move your color to where you want to pick the color from and you pick it up from here. So you click on it, automatically it tells you, I have picked the color you've sent me to do. And that's how to get that sorted. Now, the next thing to do is you type in your sign up. How do you do that? You come to your tool panel Click on your text too, and then type sign up. Remember, your body text should always be between 16 to 24. So I look at my text is 16. If I'm happy to go with 16, I personally like to use 16, maybe very few times 18 and all that. But when you start designing, don't say because I say 16, use, especially when you're working on your own projects, it depends on what you're trying to design. And as you start designing, you start finding out there's some particular things that you're feeling much comfortable with that gives a visual appealing to your design, that makes it visual appealing on your design. So I sometimes get comfortable using 16. I also sometimes use 18 depending on what I'm working on. So let's say, for example, I use 16 for my body text for my button. Remember, I said I also use 18 at times, but today I'm going to use 16. I'm going to put it up here. So now, Judith, you asked how did the red cross line come up?
Yes.
If I bring it here, now one thing I always like to say is that sometimes you may want to drag something here, you're not seeing it. All right, just right click, bring it out again, right click and say bring to front. It's good practice, but sometimes you may encounter that. I don't know why sometimes that happens, so you won't get frustrated. So it means that I'm bringing this text on top of this. Now this is how to another way to align it. So you can see it's showing one line, but it's not. I want the two line like a cross to tell me that it's at the center. So I just start moving down. You can see. So you just gently start moving with your cursor, which I advise. Please get a mouse. It's easier to design with a mouse than designing with your mouse trackpad on your laptop. It's stressful. So you can see now I've gotten the rectangle, I just leave it. All I was pressing was just my left clicking, holding my left click and all that. I bring it out again. I hold my left click and I drag down and I keep moving small until I get my cross sign. This is another way to do it. Now, once you've done that, so that it doesn't distort, all I now then do is click on this. You can say Control G. That's to group it together so that when you're moving anything, it will not move. Or you can right click and say group selection. You can see for those who are very fast and handy with system, see Control G there. So you can right click and say group selection and it's grouped. You get? So that's one way to do it. Now another way to do it, let me ungroup. So to ungroup is right click again and then say ungroup. But I've already done it by pressing the code for it. So the second way I said you can actually align this is by bringing this here. You select the text, click on your shift, and you select the button. You come to your line horizontal center. You can see it's now at the center. So to me, this is even the easiest than having to struggle with having to get it. Let me do it again. Let's say you brought it here now. You click on your text, make sure your text is selected. You click down on your shift, you click on the box, you come to the second one on your property panel, which is align horizon center, and that's it. So that's how to do it. Then you can either say Control G or right click and group selection. Now, one thing I'll also say, apply emphasis on your button. You want your button to stand out. So even the fact that, yes, you're giving it a regular font size, it's also nice to be able to distinct it a bit to make people understand that this is a button. So one way to do it is by increasing your font weight. So you can decide to use medium or semi-bold. I personally like to use medium. Depends on what works for you, but don't put something that's too bold. Like, for example, this bold is too bold. This is too much. This is too much. I have never used this too. I don't know. People that use it, I don't know. Unless if, depending on whether I'm doing it, maybe I need a very strong emphasis. Maybe I might use that. But I basically like to use semi-bold, my own preference. You can also use, I like to use medium or semi-bold. So I can try to go for medium and all that. It gives that emphasis. You can see this is a bit more pronounced to say that's the sign up, and that's how to do it. And then you position it here. So I don't know if I was able to answer your both questions, Mr. Moses, and
Perfectly.
great stuff. Judith, what about you?
Yes, thank you.
Great stuff. I don't know if that was a question. Okay, so all right, let's move over to the next agenda for today. So we have learned, if you've learned everything about alignment, every single thing about alignment right now, please prop a Y. And if you're getting another question, prop an M. If you have learned alignment, you know, understand the alignment, the types of alignment that we have, which is left, center, right. You know how to make use of the rulers to properly align. You understand the principles and why we need to prop a Y. If not, prop an M. Okay, so I can see everyone is saying a Y. Now let's move over to the next principle. Now, the next principle, okay, before we move on to the next principle, we have a little quiz. Remember I said for each quiz, we're going to have, for each principle, we're going to have a little, let's say, text just to check what, you know, if you're understanding. If these are the same thing, but they are properly aligned differently. If you think the first one is A, if you think A is correct, is properly aligned, drop an A in the chat box. If you think B is properly aligned, put up a B in the chat box. So the first one stands for A, the second one stands for B. So as a UI designer that you are, if you think A is properly aligned, put up an A. If you think B is properly aligned, put up a B in the comment box. I expect every one of you, I think we're about doing something. I expect every one of you to put that, put your comment on the comment box. So I'm just going to leave it for like 30 seconds and I'll go check the comment. All right, I want to believe that every one of you have put up your answer. Okay, I hope everyone is saying B. You know why you're saying B, not because everybody is saying B, because he may be wrong. Don't follow the crowd. All right, but let's see. I don't know what the answer is. Let's see. You know, I don't want to call Shay. I wanted to say the first person, but Shay, you've answered question before on something like this. But let me just randomly pick.
Let me try.
Yeah, go ahead, Judith. Why do you think it's a B?
Okay, I think it's a B because everything is aligned in the second one. Yeah, you look at the line, but the first one, after writing, I don't know what language is this though, but after writing the first one, there's something under and like it's not aligned when looking at it, but the second one is perfectly aligned, I think.
Thank you very much, Judy. Does anyone feel what Judy said is wrong? Or you have an opposing thing to what Judy said? Okay, we've got Jesse. Go ahead. Jesse, raise your hand. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me just try with my own understanding. So I chose B because they are left aligned because like using Microsoft Word. So the A is the first is it a topic or something that's center aligned and the rest are left, so it doesn't correspond. The topic and the text under it needs to be aligned and everything.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you. At the end of it, I just want to know if anyone basically has any different thing to say. Richard, your hands were up.
Yes, I wanted to say that to add to what others have said, I wanted to say if I bring my line from the left, my vertical line, and I bring it to where we have the first word, okay, the line will not be at the beginning of all the sentences. So that shows me that it's not aligned. That's for A. So that's why I would prefer B.
Okay. That's a different way to answer that. Okay, let's see. Who else raised their hands? I just want to make sure I'm not missing out anybody. I can't see just in case. Lola, you said it's an A. Why do you say it's an A?
Well, I just feel like so basically I feel like there are different ways to align things, and they all don't have to be on the same line or the same horizontal line, right? The second part is aligned. I feel like the first part is aligned. I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like if I'm what do you call it? I'm a viewer or somebody that's reading the website, I just feel like I can. There's the what do you call the line height thingy that you use there in the first one. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know if I'm correct, but it's just an inclination, I guess.
Okay, no problem. We'll find out. Merit, you've got your hands raised as well. What's your own view to this?
Okay. As regards to what the last person said, I think she's trying to talk about, excuse me. So I think with what the first person said, she's trying to, I think maybe what she's trying to say is that, okay, with the first one, someone could actually decide and say, this is how I want to align my work. Like write the lorem ipsum dolor, whatever, then come down, write sit amet or something, whatever it is. And the person says, this is how I want it to be. That's the caption to be. That's for the person. But I feel like with what you gave, with the definition you gave for the aligning stuff, alignment, you said it has to be appealing to the eyes, right? So when we look at the work, we can see that the second one is more appealing. So if you're now doing your own project and you feel like this is what I want, it's your personal choice. But if you're doing something that, okay, you're doing it for a company, or you're doing it for someone, for people, like you said, have your users at heart. Like what would they see and say? It's not about you now. It's about the people using it. What would they see and say, okay, this appeals to my eyes. That's what I think.
Well said. Okay, thank you very much. We'll find. Okay, so I'm just going to give the verdict. Thank you very much for every one of you who actually said, you know, whether it's an A, whether it's a B, and all of you that did not say anything, the answer is a B. It's a B. And all that. Now, why? I think every one of us have actually there's nothing more to say, because just, you know, everybody that said B, whatever they've said, they are correct. So I don't want it like it's my own explanation that basically makes it right. Now, if you look at this, basically, it's more appealing to the eyes. Remember, we view things from the left to right. It's more appealing from the left to the right. So, but if you come to this, okay, your eye is fixed at the center. Now, this is center alignment. I wanted to give a second question, but Jesse had already answered it already, which was very good. If you're working on alignment, it is left alignment, be consistent. Remember, one of the things we talked about was consistency. But when you mix center and you mix left align, it's not going to be that very clean. It's not visual appealing. That consistency is not there. The alignment is not there. So if I basically start reading this now, my eye is fixed at the center. So I should, you know, unconsciously, I feel like the text beneath it should also be center. But now I'm looking at the center, it's not properly aligned. I have to look at the left. Imagine if this was a very big word. It looks small, so you may not 100% get it right. But imagine if this was a very big word. It would be very, you will lose interest, you will lose focus faster. But when I look at the B, it is clean, it is properly aligned. I can read from left to right to the end. I go back left to the right to the end. If you're doing a center alignment, please do it center alignments all through. Now, the reason why I thought about it is because on your assignment you're going to do, you're going to also do something about center. I think there's some you do about left as well. Now, I would also say something again at this point. Please write this one down. Whenever you are working on a center alignment, let me start with that. Please keep it 2 to 3 lines. This is a line. Natus error, wherever is a line. Doro minico, wherever is a line. All right. So keep it 2 to 3 lines if you're basically working on a center alignment. Both the title text and the body text should all be center aligned. The body text should be a minimum of 2 lines. So it can be 1 or 2, but a maximum of 3. The reason is that when you have a whole lot of body text as center aligned, it's very clumsy to read. And many of us can actually agree with it. I would have actually got an example. I remember that, but I thought I had put that on my Figma. It's going to be very clumsy. It wouldn't look nice, okay? But you can put as many sentences, lines of sentences as you want on the left side, because the eye is always trained, read from left to right. So it's still good and all that. So that's the first thing I'm also going to say on this. So please bear in mind. Now, let me show you an example of that here. Let me just toggle off the layout grid. So you can see that even on this, you're going to design this. We're going to talk about this. Everything you're going to design, we'll talk about it. I will also give an example of it and then design, because the other things are something you already know. Place image here, place box here, place text here is something you already know. You can see that this is center align. If I click on it, it's showing center. If I click on it, it's showing center. So you can see that it's easy to read when it's 3. Now imagine, let me copy this and paste here. Copy this again. Maybe I'm putting so many words. Let me paste. So imagine I have this as my center line. You can see it's very clumsy. It's not even very easy. It's not readable. Remember, alignment, you also have to make things readable. It's not readable. I know that, like, it's too much in my eyes. Some are starting from here, some are starting from here. You can even end here. It's not clean. Do you get? It's really not clean when you look at this, and they're all center line. All right. So always make sure that when you're using a center line, one principle is that it can be 1, 2, but maximum 3 lines, so that it is clean and also readable. Number 2, if you are applying a center alignment free for consistency, make here 3 lines, make here 3 lines, make here 3 lines. If you make here 1, make here 2, make here 3, or make here 2, 2, then make here 3, it's not balanced. That balance is not there, which is another principle in UI design. The balance is not there. It will not be clean. But when you have everything, all 3 threes, it's very clean and it's in uniform. That uniformity is there. Just like this. You can see when you look at this now, this 3, you can see that the uniformity is there. Title text, 3 lines, center, title text, 3 lines, center. That uniformity it's clean. It's very easy to, but you can see that other one that I placed a whole lot at the center is not nice. But you can do that as well on the left line and on your left alignment, like something like this. I think this is like 4 lines. It's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. If it's 5, 6 lines, it's still fine, because our human eyes are trained to read from left to right, so it's fine. Secondly, again, I would always say to aside center alignment, okay, for the number of lines to give, this is called a card. It's called a UI card, user interface card. It's just like a box, and you place content inside the box. It's like a card. Just see it as a birthday card, and then you have writings, right? You have images on that birthday card. You have text on that birthday card and all that. So this is like a card. That's what it's called. Yeah. You have your logos, you have your shapes, you have your text and all that. So this is a UI card. So now when creating designs in a UI card, it's always advisable, whether it's center, whether it's left aligned or right aligned, a maximum of 3 lines. Sometimes these issues come up when you're working in some organizations or you're freelancing on a project. They give you so many things to write. It's your duty to let them know that for the design to come out great, this has to be shortened. Instead, you can decide to reward those lines, reward it. You can even use ChatGPT to say, reward this in 1 sentence or 2 sentences or 3 sentences and all that stuff. I'm just giving an example. Or you tell your client to reward it so that it's going to be more clean. If there's too many information, what happens is that people lose focus. Not everybody have that time to be reading a whole lot of things. So it's always nice to keep things, quite, short and all that, so that that engagement can be there as well. So that's another principle. You can see I gave here a 3. This is 1 line, I gave it 1. This is a 3. This is a title text, actually. This is a body text, a 3. This I gave this a 4. You can see all of them is a 4. All of them is a 4. You will not see any of the design that I'll do, and you see here is a 2, here is a 3. You can see it's consistent. When you look at it, it looks good and all that. But if I put here, maybe I just write here 1, I write here 2, it's not looking too clean and all that. This is going to be your assignment. So at least I have showed you some of the things on how to do your assignments. All right, now let's move over to the next principle. We've talked about balance, we've talked about alignment. Now let's talk about hierarchy. Now, hierarchy, basically, it's I know many of you already know what it is, but it's in UI design, it refers to the arrangement and your presentation of elements. And I think in alignment, I explain what elements are. It's always good to know these terminologies, because I'll be using them every now and then. And as a UI designer that you are, get used to it, so that when you're speaking to people in that field and you mention these terminologies, they say, this person know what's going on. All right. So when you say element, you say, which element? Is it a chemistry element and all that? So hierarchy in UI design refers to the arrangements and the presentations of elements. That's your text, your images, your buttons, all those things are elements, your boxes and all that, in a way that will guide you that will guide the user's attention to the most important parts of the interface first. So arranging things in accordance to what you want people to see first and what you want them to see last. That's one. Another form of hierarchy is what you are trying to place a form of emphasis on is another form of hierarchy. For people to get people's attention is another way of hierarchy. Now, I said there are key principles of hierarchy in UI design. One, size. When you give a larger font size to things, you are trying to draw people's attention to that. I'll try to see if there is any of that in your assignment. Color. I think I've explained color when I talked about the home navigation. And I said the emphasis you're trying to create based on hierarchy. Now, hierarchy is something you're placing an emphasis on than the other. All right. So, and I said it's always good to place your hierarchy on your navigation as well, your navigation tabs. And I believe by now we all know what navigation tabs, what they are. This is navigation. You can see that I give a hierarchy using, they are all the same size. I believe they're all the same. Yeah, they're all the same font size. But I gave a hierarchy. I gave two hierarchy to my home. The first hierarchy I gave to it was I made my font width medium. And then the second hierarchy I emphasized on was to give it a color. Now, this will guide any user who comes into this landing page to say, oh, okay, this is the home section. But if I had not laid an emphasis and everything is the same color, the same font size, the same font width, you as the user will get confused. Is this an about? Is this supposed to be a featured course? You will get confused where you are. You click on something, you don't even know where you are and all that. So that's something you need to always apply. Now, it can be applied here. Another way, again, you can apply your hierarchy is this. This is hierarchy. This is me placing or using the font size. I decided to make this text larger because I want to draw any user that comes into my landing page or into my website. The first thing I want them to see is that some of those ideas into beautiful and user-friendly interface. I want to capture them with that statement. All right. And they will like, okay, turn your ideas. What is that are we turning? And they want to read further now to now then on the body text to say, okay, are you passionate about creating websites, mobile apps? Our comprehensive online UX design course equips you with the skills and knowledge to transform user experiences. Now, this is what I want to use to captivate my audience or the users that come into the website or the web application. Now, that is something else that can work as that. Let me look for something else again. I think this one I'll come to that later. Now you can see I talked about larger elements draw more attention. I talked about color. You can use color. I talked about, okay, the next one is element placed at the top or center of a page are more noticeable. If you do check on your assignments, you see that, if you check on your assignment, you see that I actually place this. You see that when you come to this page, the truth is that your eye will go to this because you're like, oh, this is like an emphasis. We help to fight hunger today. There's an emphasis. Yes, it's small, but the fact that you placed it on a, your mind like, what's that thing that is there? You are drawn to that basically. So that is another way to basically, create emphasis or hierarchy in what you're trying to do. White spacing. Now I'm going to talk to you about what is white spacing. The truth is that you have been doing that, but you didn't know that's what it's called. Now we said it's a space around elements. It can make them stand out and appear more important. Now this is a white space. You see this space here between this box and this is a white space. Between this section and this section is called white space. Now the beautiful thing about white space is that it makes what you're designing look clean, makes it look neat. Imagine if there was no white spacing. Let me make a copy of this. So imagine I just close this. After this first one, I close it here. After this second one, let me do this. After the second one, I close it you can see that it wouldn't look too good. Everything is all clustered. There's no breathing space. It's like one content you just want to bombard your. Let me play it so that you see how it will look like when I run it. You're not giving your audience some time to breathe in what they've just seen. It's like bombarding them eye to eye and all that, and it wouldn't look clean. So they come here, they see this, they scroll down, immediately they're seeing this. Like it's even to your eyes, it's somehow they come down again. This one, so white spacing helps to ensure that gives one good thing. It helps it more readable, it's more visual appealing. It also makes your work look good, but we also be careful not to overgive white spacing. Be careful, because some people would now want to experiment giving white spacing and give so much spacing and all that. Although they will always say it's better to give enough spacing, which you can always adjust, than not giving any spacing. And then for you to be able to adjust them, you have to almost redo everything and all that. So I basically just wanted to show you that the importance of this. You can see when you come here, there's some little spacing between this and that, some little spacing between this and that, which makes it easier to read, to go through and understand. So that's what white spacing, it adds beauty to your design. It makes it more readable. So after this content, you can easily say, oh, this is this content, or this is this content, or this is that content, and all that. Then the next again for hierarchy is that you can place hierarchy. Remember, allow emphasis on whatever you're trying your user to see through font size. I think I've mentioned that, through width, through style, and all that. I think I've already explained that using your home navigation, and all that. But remember, it's not only on your home navigation. You can place that emphasis on anywhere you want to. Like this is also an emphasis. I decided to use a box, and I will teach you this, how to do this as well. So I place an emphasis to say, oh, this is value proposition. This is the title text, but this is an emphasis to say, oh, these are the benefits. So it's the value that we are proposing to you. That is another way to create an emphasis as well. So if you've learned everything, if you understand what we've talked about hierarchy, please pop up a Y on the chat box. If you did not understand anything or you got questions, please pop up an N. Okay, so I can see everyone pop up the Y, but we've got a question from Merit. Merit, over to you.
No, I don't have any question.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine. No problem. So I can see everyone understood it. Great stuff. Now, this is where I also ask you my own question. Now, when you look at this, this is for A and this is for B. Remember, we've talked about hierarchy, we've talked about emphasis, what you want your user to do first, what you want them to see. Now, I want you to look at this and tell me if you think this is properly the way it should be. As a UI designer, this is where it should be, give it an A. If you think this is the way it should also be, give it a B. But I'm going to ask you why you said, you gave either an A or a B. So have a look at this properly. How do you think it should come out? Ask your question, what do you really want your user to do? What is the title? What do you really want? What's the emphasis you want the user to? I'm not giving you guys the expo chat. I shouldn't have said that. What exactly are you trying to give your users to do? What do you want them to do? What's the emphasis on? So as a designer, what do you want them to do when they come on this? So if it's an A, it's the first one. If it's a B, it's the second one. All right, I think by now you guys must have looked through and made your decision. Now let's go back and see. So we all have B, 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 B. Nobody wants to go for A. Why? No, somebody has to tell me. Why is it not an A? Okay, let's check who was the first person this time. Lola, tell us why it's a B. Next person who has not spoken, Michela, tell us why that's a B. Next person, Ifine, tell us why it's a B. So yeah, over to you. The first person I called is Lola. Why do you say it's a B?
B just makes more sense It's more visually appealing to people. If I was the audience, I would prefer to look at B, and probably the emphasis would be you want people to log in into the page, and then that would be where the hierarchy lies.
Okay, very much said. Let's see if we have any other opinions to that. The next person I called was that Michaela?
Yes. I think it's B because one, that's mostly what I see on most websites, and two, because B highlights, what it wants you to do first. So there's like hierarchy. It wants you to, log in first, and also what I noticed was that the one that was colored blue was because the A had all of them colored blue. That's like the person is tapping on each one, because you said something about when it's I remember you saying something briefly about that blue part is when they are clicking on that particular page itself. So login would be them being in the login section. So it makes sense for login to be the only one that is blue at that time, and then sign up, and then forgot password as well should like not be blue. Yeah.
Great, sir. Well said. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Define said is a noisy environment. If you're meant to be in a quiet place, so how are you listening if you're in a noisy environment? Let's pick a man. Let's say, can I pick? I need someone who has not spoken. Most people have spoken here. Unknown, I think that should be Mr. Daniel. I think last class you said you were the one. Is that Mr. Daniel? Unknown?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was supposed to change the name.
No problem. So why do you say it's a B?
Yeah, because the emphasis is login. That's what they want us to do on that page. So highlighting and putting it as a hierarchy by making the color bold to separate it from other elements.
I like that you use the right word, elements.
Using that hierarchy. So that's the most important thing that needs to be done on that page.
You guys are all smart, trust me. I'm really happy that you guys are learning and understanding. Thank you guys. Lola, you answered it briefly well. Michaela, awesome. Mr. Enwell, sorry, Mr. Daniel, awesome. Interesting stuff. Well done. Mr. Moses.
Yes, please. Okay. I'm not answering the question again. I'm just wanting to point out something.
Yes,
and
sir.
I want to be sure that's how. Can you put up this thing just showed us now?
Yeah.
Good. I noticed something here that on the blue, where you have the emphasis like logging in. The will I call it the characters are on the front. So, but the email address and password is he hidden or is it taken behind? And if it is, it didn't show us that how to do that one, but it shows this front one.
So you mean the email address?
Yes.
It's
and password. It's faded but it's there.
Okay. That's a very good question. I'm going to explain. Now, it's called a placeholder. All right. It's called a placeholder in a text field. It's just to guide. It's faded. It's not meant to be pronounced so that if it's pronounced right, you think that you can write on it. Okay, let me explain that way. You think you can write on it. Now, it's meant to be faded and it acts as a placeholder for that text field to tell you as a user that you need to impute your email there. So in design, you're meant to fade it a bit, not make it too thick. It's just be able to, because that's one way to put it. A second way people may also put it is that they can put the email address at the top of the text box. Okay, that's another way people also get to do it. So the reason why it's being faded is just to guide you, so you wouldn't think that it's not an input you can put on. Because if it's really faded like a normal text, you think it's a static character that you can't place on or you can't write on, and it's not visually appealing like that. All right. Maybe when we get into our mobile side, when we start designing for mobile apps, you'll be able to understand this much better. You would even be the one to do it like this, because you see how that one will turn out to be. It won't turn out great. So it acts as a placeholder. So basically, a placeholder is faded. The color is not that pronounced because you're not, you're only guiding them that they should put an email there and not showing them that that's what it is.
Okay. So how do we do it? Because you said we were going to do this.
No, we're not designing more by now. I just only showed you this
Okay.
just to talk about the emphasis and all that, just to put your mind and all that.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, great stuff. You guys all answered very well, and I'm very proud to see that everyone is listening. It makes me happy, when I'm teaching. Great stuff. Now, the next one we are going to talk about is images. So for images, one thing you need to understand about image is you need to basically choose the right. Okay, hold on. I think before I go to image, I already have another question here. Yeah. Now look at it. This is also talking about emphasis, right? This is A and this is B. It's still talking about hierarchy and emphasis. All right. So when you look at it, I want you to study because this one is a bit tricky. Okay. Look at each of them carefully and tell me which one do you think is the right one. There are several points to pick out. It's not just only one point. Me looking at it right now, I can pick out 2 points right now in 2 different places. I'm already giving so much expo. Why? Okay. So in one of them is correct, one of them is not correct. All right. Now I want you to look at it carefully. If you can give the whole 2 points, beautiful. If you can't give the 2 points, even if it's one, it's still fine. Okay. If you think the answer is an A, please pop an A on the chat box. If you think the answer is a B, pop up a B in the chat box. The reason I do this is so that when you start designing, you now then know what to do. Okay. All right. So if you think the answer is an A, have a look at it closely. Put up an A. If you think the answer is a B, put up a B. But remember, I would always ask you, why did you choose that answer? All right. I believe everyone by now should have been able to answer. We are over 20 in the class. We can't have just only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Others, please put up a chat. If not, I'm going to call anybody that has not said anything. But let me start looking for them. Anyone that has not said anything, I'm calling you next. I need to see you put up an answer. Every single person put up an answer, or if not, it directs me to now then call you out, which I don't want to. But everyone put up, or I will call you out. Okay. Put up, or I will call you out. Please, it's just to guide us to know that we are all knowing what's going on, not that I'm trying to. All right, Mrs. Christabel, what's your answer on this and why?
Sorry, what?
So what's your answer to what I've showed and why? What's your answer to this? Is it an A or it's a B? And why do you think it's an A or it's a B, depending on your answer?
Sorry, I'm not really following. I have to watch it over again.
Okay. All right. So just pay attention, just follow, and I'm sure you would understand it. All right. Let's move over to someone else who has not said anything in the group today. Cynthia. We all will be talking. It's fun when we all engage, right? That when only just few persons. In that way, we are all communicating. So Cynthia Okorie, I think yeah. Why do you say it's a B? You popped up a B. Why do you say it's a B?
Okay, I think from what you taught us earlier concerning what we want to see on, or what the user is going to experience on the page, I think B makes more sense to to the user, because it's more like it's placed in a personalized way, and the way A looks, I'm not saying A is so bad, but B makes it more personalized. So I think maybe that's what the page wants the user to experience. So that's why I chose B.
Okay. So to start with, everyone who said a B, you are all correct. And thank you, Cynthia, for giving the points. But I'm looking for someone that would hit the nail right. Your point is valid, it is correct. But there are some things I'm trying to, and I want you to, if you can also do well to point those places that made the difference. That's what, because that would show me that yes, you understand that. Mr. Moses, your hands are raised up.
No,
Mr.
it's a
Moses,
mistake. It's a mistake. Mistake.
oh, it's a mistake. Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
legacy then.
But from what I can see, why I chose B is
Yeah.
that um this thing is more captivating. It's more appealing to the will I call it the end users. For me, if I come in here, this is more appealing to me. The emphasis is on the name and not on that. And then it's more. I think it's more well arranged for me than to just let everything be bold. I think there's a kind of will I call it uh, dynamics that apply here that is more appealing to end users.
Thank you very much. In fact, you answered one of the things I was looking out for, the name. You can look at this on the B, the emphasis on the name, Hey Zaboa or something. That's what, if you look at this other one, they are just the same. There's no emphasis, you don't know, everything is just the same and all that. But this, when you come in, it captures you as the user. So imagine if your name is Zaboa or whatever, I don't even know if that's the right pronunciation. It captivates you, like, yes, I know that. The welcome home is something that can be, but the other one is the emphasis, or you obviously who's logging into that app or wherever. Now, you've answered one beautifully. Now, let's see if there's anybody that can pinpoint the second one. If you know where the second one is, raise your hand up. Okay, we've got a lot of persons who have raised up their hand. Gabriel, I know you said something before, so I'm just going to hold on you first. Let's go to Ifeanyi.
Like Mr. Moses said, I wanted to say the font size. They placed emphasis on the font size, making it known that you are on a cyber platform. So the hierarchy is on the font size. So that's the one I saw before said it.
Great stuff. You got it correctly. They use the place and emphasis using a font size, but that's the person's name, not the app. Zabwa, maybe it's an Indian name, Chinese name, but yes, you got it correctly. Thank you for actually even giving more buttressing Mr. Moses' point. Ifeanyi.
Okay, on the page is it's actually practically clear. Like you get to see that the name is very, very, very engaging. Like it's pleasant to the viewer's eyes. Yeah. So there's a difference between the other one and the B. Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well answered. True. It's very pleasing. Lola, you've got your hands raised up too.
Yeah, so apart from the name, you can see can you please show the image again?
Yes, please.
You can see the music also. The music, the font size of the title of the music, and I think the person that sang or the artist, they're different. So meaning that they want to place the emphasis or the hierarchy on the title of the song and not the musician.
Yes, well done. That is exactly basically what I was looking for. The same, you guys all answered it correctly. Now, when you basically hear a song, what's the first thing that comes to who sang? No, it's not really. What's the name of this song? Before, who sang the song? What's the name of this song? Oh, the name of the song is Hear Me Now. Who sang it? So that's basically, so the emphasis is the name of the song and all that. But if you look at the first one, Hear Me Now, and the people who sang it, it's all the same. It's not looking appealing. It's not visually appealing. It's just here and there and all that. But this other one, there's level of hierarchy in it. There's level of emphasis in it. So as a user, when you come in, your eyes can actually get to see what the company or the app or whatever, what they want you to see immediately and all that. Then when you see so many things at the same time, it becomes very busy. So yes, well answered. Just because of time, I just need to move on. Every one of you answered correctly, and I'm very proud. I'm really happy. Thank you. Mr. Ifeanyi, could you please put down your hand, or unless you've got another question? Is that a legacy? Oh, great stuff. Just so I don't get confused. Yeah, great stuff. Every one of you said a B. Well done. Now let's move over to another one. Contrast. Contrast is another principle. And the reason I'm doing contrast is because you're also going to do a form of contrast in your next assignment. Now, what is a contrast? It's a fundamental principle in UI. Now, it helps distinguish between different elements on a screen. Number two, so it differentiates between two different elements when you have two different elements
Sorry,
together.
sir.
Yes, please.
Sorry, sir. I thought you wanted to talk about images before.
Yes, I'll thank you very much for that. I'll talk about images. I jumped a
Okay.
bit. So after contrast should be images. Let me check. Yeah, after contrast images, I jumped. But thank you for bringing me there. Thank you. It shows you're paying attention. Thank you. So I'll go after contrast will be images. I almost skipped. So number one, contrast. What it does is that it helps to differentiate between two different elements. Now you know what elements are on a screen. Now, one of the things it does is, so for example, differentiating two elements can be a box, a color shade, and a text. It helps differentiate these things. It could be an image or an icon and a shape and all that. So it also helps to differentiate which is which and all that. I will show you that very soon. It also helps in readability. So you can also place contrast as well in your text and all that, making sure that whatever background color, you've been working on background colors and we're putting a text on top. So I also have to ensure that the text has to be readable. So in case you're placing background colors at the back, ensure that when you put up a text, it's still going to be very readable. So that's why sometimes I get to make it lighter. So if I was giving, for example, a pink, I will show you all these things practically. I wouldn't give a pink and then give a white. The contrast may not be, it may not be very readable. So what I may do is I will give a contrast. Contrast like fade. Let's put it like that. I don't like to use big English so that everyone can understand. It's like fading that color to the lighter version so that the other one you want to put in can show, the text can show, much better. Now that's text and color, right? Now, if you're going into things like image or icon and the color background, you have to also ensure that the icon that you're trying to put on that background of image should be more focused. That's the emphasis, and another one should be a bit lighter and all that. So I would also show you examples of this. Now, good effective use of contrast makes your UI more engaging because people are able to actually see exactly the emphasis. Aside that, it's also visually appealing and beautiful as well. Now, all the things I've just said now, let's look at it on your assignment today. This is like a contrast. This is a logo. All right. The emphasis is that I want this online. So you can see that when I'm looking for the text, I said online virtual. I have to also look for something that describes what I'm trying to do. And I'll talk about that in images. You don't just use images because you just want to use images. Your image, whatever image you use, must translate to the text. All right. So I can't say online virtual teaching and I'm gonna put something, a different icon here. Maybe I'm gonna put something like a football or a slippers or a table. It doesn't explain the word online virtual. So you look for things that basically would explain what you're trying to say, but that's not the base of what I'm trying to explain. You can see that I gave a contrast to this. This is the same color with this, but I gave a contrast by fading this color. Now let's do it again. Let's do it. So I'm going to create a cycle. Now to get a perfect cycle, okay, or circle, to get a perfect circle, the first thing you have to do is hold down your shift. So once you click on your cycle, you hold down your shift, you left click and you drag. It will make it equal. Now, this is one I did with a shift, and this is the other one I'm going to draw without a shift. You can see it's just anyhow. It's distorted. It could easily distort. So you can see how to do it again is you come to your tool panel, scroll down to your eclipse, which is known as cycle. You click on it, you hold down your shift button. While you're holding down, you left click and you drag. So as much as you drag, you can see it's not distorted. It's the same way. It's not distorted. All right. And then you release your hands. That's how to do that. I think there is a pop-up question. Let me see. Josephine. Josephine, your answer raised up. Or was that a legacy?
Hi, sorry, that was a mistake, please.
That's fine, no problem. Cynthia, your hands are raised up.
Sorry, the part where you said click on shift. How do I get that using a mouse? I don't
Okay, so
really
your
understand.
shift button is on your laptop or your keyboard, depending on what you're using. There's a shift button there. So some may have the shift written on it, some may just have like an arrow pointing up. It's towards your left, I think under your caps lock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what you just do is you just go to your tool panel, click on your Eclipse, you press down your shift, hold down, keep holding down your shift, left click, and then you drag to the size you want. Once you're done, you leave both of them together, and that's done.
Okay.
That's how to
Thank
do it.
you.
Now, yeah, welcome. So now we've done this, I will show you how to get to the icons when we get to the icon side of it. Okay, so let's assume that we have imported our icon. I will show you how to do that and where to find icons. So the next thing is, maybe this is the color I want, right? So I'll give this color. Let's give this color first of all, which is this. You can see that if I should have created a new distance, so I don't. So hey, remember I said that sometimes you try to place something, it wouldn't place. Remember I told you sometimes for good practice, you can see it's going to the back. And I said for good practice, what you do, because sometimes it happens, what you do is right click, bring to front. Right click, bring to front. What am I pressing? Bring to front, and then, sorry. Let me create this. I don't want to distort this because this is what I'm going to send you guys as assignment. Let me create a new one. So let me just bring this out here. So I'm going to create, let me copy this, paste it here. So I'm going to create the cycle again. I didn't want to distort the assignments. No, that was already getting scattered. So cycle, shift, I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to pick up this color. So you already know how to pick up color. Come here and select this. Well, if I bring this, let me bring to front and I place it. It's here, it's in front, but you can't see it. You can see. That's why you need to apply contrast to make it, number one, visual appealing, two, to give emphasis to what you're trying to do. All right. Now, how do you do that? We're going to now fade this color to give it this contrast. Now, I know what you would have done was just come here and then pick up this color. But what if you were designing your own? How would you have done it? Now, let's go back. So you go to your fill, you see this place. You always, when you're trying to do contrast, I always like to say, put it at the edge. So you can see I just start moving like this. Maybe something like this, maybe the right. I'll check it. So I might leave it like something like this. I'm only just dragging the edge of this, and I close, and I bring this here. Can you see? The emphasis now is on this than this. Unlike when this was this color. And you don't even know which one is which. Even if at the end of the day I decide to do something like this, it's still not, it's not, the contrast is not contrasting. It's not still good. Do you get? So the background has to now then be light, like much lighter, so that you can be able to see this properly. So this is how to do this. So now you now know how to do things like this. It's not hard. I'll teach you the icon when we get to the icon section. When we get there, it's the same thing you do for this. Now, I'm also going to teach you how to, let me not say that now. When I get to the icon, so I don't confuse you. So now you know contrast. That's how to do that. Let me look for another one again. It's the same way how to do this one. This one is just basically putting a rectangle. Just putting a rectangle like this. And if you look at it here, it's cornered. So I give it a corner, let's say a 5 or maybe a 7. People would not say I'm always giving 5. No, it's just preference. You can put it to 7, you can put it to 10, 20, depending on what you're trying to achieve and all that. You bring, you give, this is also a lighter color of this green. So that is contrast. So you now know how to do this, you know how to do this. Okay, I think that's all the contrast here that I wanted to teach you so you know how to do. All right, so I'm just going to close this now and we'll move over to the next think this is the old one. Yeah, this is the new one. So now that you understand contrast, if you understand what I have explained and even the practicals, please pop up a Y. If you don't understand, please pop up an N for any questions. Please expect that when I say this, everyone please pop a Y. It's so that I can be able to understand. And if you got questions, it's a way for me to don't feel shy. We're all learning, you know, we're all learning. In fact, I'm not seeing your faces, so you don't need to be shy about anything. It's just a chat, a way to clarify. Great stuff. I can see that there are two questions, but one is by Cynthia. Over to you, Cynthia. Cynthia.
The part where you did that like internet stuff, you didn't teach us that, or you said you come to that. I didn't get that.
Yes, that's a logo, and it's part of what I'm also going to teach you today. So I didn't want to touch about it yet. I'll teach you about where to find your logos, how to import your logos, how to scale them. You know, there was something we talked about here when we're beginning. I said I'll only teach you the tools and when we get to that point, so I don't confuse you by teaching you a whole lot of things and you forget them. So I'll only teach you at the point where we need to apply. You already know this move too, right? Okay. This is for your arrow so that you can be able to select things. This is your hand tool to be able to move around page. All right. Now, when you're done moving around the page, you've gotten to where you want to move to. This, I want to move to somewhere like this. For you to be able to unactivate this, you click back to your move tool. All right. So you can be able to select elements. Now, under this move, there's something called scale. I don't want to talk about it now when I get to the logo section so that I don't confuse you. So when I get logo section, I'll teach you this scale and how to import logos, where to find your logos, how to bring them to Figma.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Great stuff. Who else asked to put up on N? Judith.
Yeah, okay. I think from what you just said, it's just a logo. You just have to pick it, but you have to choose your color first, is it?
Yes. 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 And then you can also apply. Let me not talk about logos for now because it would deviate from what I'm trying to do. Because once I start on it, I have to complete it, and then that will take me off. But yes.
Okay, but how do you know the right color to choose? Do you have to, after choosing your logo, then you do the colors? Because I don't get it.
So we are going to definitely get to knowing your primary color, secondary, and your essentials. We'll get to that point. We'll get to that point. For now, we're focusing on just whatever colors I ask you to do on imitating, you imitate on it. But when you start, I think after this, your second project, you're going to start designing something. I'll teach you how you'll be able to get inspirations, and you're going to design your own. I'll give you guys a task. Let me not spill the bean. And you design it, and I'll guide you all through the step. And that's going to start your first web application project. So you will learn every single thing, but I like to do it step by step.
All right, thank you.
On the colors, it would be at that point, it will be you making your decision. What colors do you think would be nice?
Okay, thank you.
If you're working for a client, the clients will give you their colors. Like for example, if you're working with MTN have their colors, they then give it to you. You will not then know exactly how and when to apply those colors. Do you get? So we'll get to that point. I don't want to rush anything so that we can easily follow things as we do them. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I guess every other person said a why, which is a beautiful thing. So we'll move to the next thing. Now, this is another quiz question again. Looking at this carefully, we talked about contrasts. If you think that the first one had a very amazing contrast, give it an A, type an A. If you think B has an amazing contrast, which makes things emphasize, give it a B. So whatever you think is, that give it the right contrast, please put up it. The first one is an A, the second one is a B. Everyone, please put up a chart. Everyone, please put up a chart. Okay. Okay. More. I need more of you to put up. More of you to put up. Please, when I ask like this, I need everyone so I know everyone is following because that's the only way I can get to know. Please put up. If you think it's an A, if you think it's a B, don't put up a B because everyone is saying it's a B. Great stuff. Okay, so I believe everyone has done putting up things and you're all right, it's a B. It shows you're paying attention. So you can see that this has got more contrast. This is not it's not visually appealing. It is even affecting my eyes when I look at it. It's not, it's not good, but this is a very nice color. You can always see that this is actually a purple background. This background, the white contrast at the back, is a purple, but just a lighter shade of it. And you can see it's visual appealing, it's beautiful. And at the end of the day, it creates the emphasis on the icon, which is the user image, to stand out. If you also look at this as well. Now, another way again, which is good, thank God this is a good example. Aside this type of contrast, this is also another type of contrast, giving the other one darker and then make this other one lighter. Most one that usually get to fit it is if you give this a color, maybe like a blue, and then wherever on top is a white, is a good contrast. So this is another way of contrasting things well and all that. You can see the both of them are all darker. It's not nice. So what could have made this nicer is if the person who designed this gave this icons a white, it could have maybe popped out a bit, and then made this darker gray a bit more darker. It would have popped out well and all that. So you guys are all correct and well done. Now moving over to images, like I said, Mr. Annual like raised out. So images are very important. Now, the reason why we are teaching about these images is that on your next one, you're going to design something on your own, and I expect that the images you use should correspond with whatever you're typing or whatever you're writing. For example, if you are talking about, let's say, this project, I don't know if I have it here now. Let me open up my other Figma. Let me open my other Figma. Might take some time. Okay, let's say you're talking about why that is okay. Can you guys see my screen still?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, thank you. Just give me a second. Let's see if it's going to open quickly. Let me copy this. So some clients work, but let me just copy and show you. So for images now, let me paste this here. Sorry, I got frozen for a while. Can you all hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
For example, now
Yes, I can hear you.
this is for example, this is for a client, yeah. Now this is basically an image. Now this client basically deals with properties. Whatever image I'm going to present express elevated living with premier properties. Basically, when I basically spoke client, they want a website that basically that is on properties and all that, and it's basically like luxury. Now, whatever image I have to put on that hero section page should be something that already talks about what they do. They only deal on premium properties, luxury properties. So I would not use one bungalow somewhere and then just put up the image there. It has to be something that is aesthetically pleasing and all of that. When the type of customers they are looking for come in, they could say, yes, that's exactly the kind of people I want to work with, because they only deal with luxury. You can see their text also say, let's guide you through our real estate journey as we specialize in 100% premium properties in high-brow areas, United States of America. Okay, so selecting your image, whatever text you're basically, whatever text you're trying to put on, your image should also speak of it, because images speak. They say images speak it more than 1,000 words. Please, I don't know how that quote is said. So those of you who know it, please do well to put on the chat box. So images speak more words than the text, but it also has to align whatever text that you are placing. Like I explained, they deal on luxury buildings and properties. So whatever housing images have to put in there has to be things like that as well. So you can see it has to be things like that, something that talks about class, something that talks about luxury and all of that. I just basically wanted to just show you this. Let me just take this off. All right. Now let's go back to images. That's one thing you need to understand. Your image should match, at least match with what you're putting on your hero section or your text or whatever, thing you're placing your image side by side with your text. It has to, complement that narrative itself. That's one thing you must know. It has to be relevant to what you're saying. Two, make sure you use good images. Avoid using images that are blurring. Now, the reason I'm also saying is because at some point when you're going to download images, you may have blurred images. It's not good. Even yourself, it's not good, so then don't use it. The second thing again you have to avoid using when you're using images are images that have got like trademarks. Because sometimes you try to like download images and all that. You get trademarks like stock, I don't know if anyone stock photos or whatever. Those images are not usable. Don't use those images and all that. It has to be something that is very clear. It's not blurring. There are no stock photos or trademarks of different companies or different whatever on the image and all that. So these are the things you need to consider. Also, make sure you use high quality images. Make sure you use high quality images as well. I will also be showing you now where you can actually get images. So yes, last Saturday I showed you one way using plugins, and I said the first way is if you go down to your Figma icon, go to your plugins, go to your manage plugins, and if you type, for example, Unsplash, I gave you one on Splash, and I gave you the second one, which is photos by Free Pick. So if you come to Unsplash, you say run, and you say run. It will run because you say running on Splash. A pop-up box will appear. You click on your search. You can say you're looking for a young child. A young child will appear. And then if you want to basically just get it out, you can just drag it out like this. It's one way to bring it out. But I also said, if you're creating a box, I always like to say, why do I like touching this? Now, I always say that when you're designing, for example, let's move to this. So I'm teaching you this so that when you're doing your assignments, you know how to add images. For some of us who ask, how do I add images? Now, this is a better way. You can look at this box. You can see that this box size and this one is the same consistency. Some of us have a box size of this size. Some of us, the box size is almost half of this. It's not consistent. And all that consistency. Now you might ask, oh, but this one is like this. It's because it's a different section. I'm putting up an image, and I'm going to teach you right now how this is done. Okay. This as well, and this as well. Now, how do I do this? Let's say, for example, I wanted to put something like this. Why do I keep doing this? I don't know why my hand keeps going there. Now, all I need to do is drop a box, first of all. Now, let's say this is the size of box that I am happy with. All right. Make sure that this box is clicked. Then go to your Unsplash. If I'm looking for a lady, type lady. If it's a black lady you're looking for, I'm sure if you type maybe an African lady, I'm sure you should see something. Maybe, yeah. So you can see this, don't use this one. You can see this one has got something like something. I don't know if you can see it's like Unsplash. This is what I'm talking about, stock photos. Don't use them. Can you see it? Can any of you see it? Please unmute.
Yes.
Yeah, don't use it. Let me just bring it out so that I can zoom it clearly for people to see. You can see, don't use it. This is what I was talking about. It's not good and all that. Don't use it. It's not acceptable in design. So maybe this one now. If I want this image to be in this box, you don't just carry the image and then you place it here. No. What you do is you create a box first. Then you can then click on the image will appear there. So that's one way you do it. If you understand this first way before I move into the second way, because I've taught this one last class, if you understand this one, please put up a Y. If you don't understand what I just did now, put up an L before we move to the second way to get pictures. Great stuff. I can see everyone is saying a Y, a Y. I can't see an N. Great stuff. Now you've learned this one. Let me then click off. Remember, you can also use Unsplash. The second one you can use is Photos by FreePic. It's the same process. It's another place. I like to use these people. I know that Unsplash myself. I know that, but it's just perfect. Whatever that works for you. Now, that's one way. The second way is importing it. I talked about when you come to your tube panel, if you scroll down and say you can place image and video, that's importing it from wherever you have saved it on your desktop to Figma. So for those who ask, how do I bring images? How do I bring logo? It's the same place. But that means you would have actually stored that image or logo. You would have saved it on your laptop, somewhere on your laptop. And all you need to do is come to your tube panel, click on your place images, and then locate where you saved it and then import it. We're going to walk through something now. I will show you for images because you're treating on images, and I think the next one should be icons. I can't remember, but I think the next one should be icons. I would see, but we will treat icons today. I'll show you how to also import icons. Now, there are two ways to go about it. You can go on your website, you type in Unsplash, www.unsplash.com. The second one is I also like to use, and I like to use this one more frequently. I don't know, it's my own personal choice. There are several places you get pictures from. So it's not just these two, several, but I'm only just going to give you just two for now. Give me a second. All right. So you can type in www.freepic.com. I'm just going to post this on the chat. So please do well to copy that down so that you have it. So that's one. And then for Unsplash, let me just put this up. And that is for Unsplash. There's several ways. Now, all you just need to do is the same way. You just come here. You type in, let's say, I don't know, let's say, I don't even know what to type. Maybe an African child. It would look for an African child. Avoid this one that's got this bad, things written on it. Maybe something like this, maybe what I want, or maybe something like this, maybe what I want. Now, another thing again is if you're looking for something portrait or landscape, I believe we all know what portrait and landscape is, but I'll just show you for benefit of doubt. This is a landscape. You can see it's more wider by width. This is landscape. It's more wider by width. This is your width. Side by side is your width. Your height is your up and down. Now, this is your portrait. For those of us who don't know the differences, okay? So at least now you know the differences. So if you want to select images based on your rotation, which is portrait or landscape, you can come here and say, okay, I want it in a portrait format. It will give you all the portrait formats. If you want it landscape, click on landscape. It gives you all of them. You can see the widths are more larger. If you want it all, you don't mind, fine. But let's say we wanted like a portrait. All I need to do is just click on this download button here. And then it will download. Now, bear in mind that sometimes you may want to download. After you download sometimes 2 or 3 pictures, it tells you sign up. They just want you to sign up so that they can have users and all that. Then it's not a big deal. You can just sign up and all that. So you can then just sign up. Now, it has downloaded. Now, how do I remember this is the picture we brought in? How do I import this picture to my Figma? This is what I do. I'm going to come to remember, I'm going to first create a box. Remember, it's a portrait. Maybe this is how I want the size of the portrait to be. Imagine on my design. Let's just imagine. I'm just putting it here for us so we can see clearly. You first create the box size that you want based on how you want it to fit in your design. You come to your tool panel. You scroll down to the place images, the same place you get your tools, like your shapes. Come to your place images. Now, I should find this in my download, I believe. So I'll go to my downloads and I will click on this. I can see down there. I'll click on that and I'll say open. There are 2 ways to do it. You can say place or wait for this. I always like to say wait for this. It takes maybe a couple of seconds to come up. You can see showing you the image with a cross sign. All you need to do is just left click, just once, one, bam, and that is it. It is there. Automatically, it is there. That's how to import things on your Figma. Now, the second thing I'm going to show you is you may want to arrange something. Maybe you know how you import video. You're trying to like edit the picture or crop it so it comes out nice. How do you crop images or how do you edit images? Very easy. You can see on your fill property now, instead of showing color, it's now showing image. It's telling you that that is an image. If you click on that, you come down to this place and you can see crop. It's like when you're trying to crop an image on your phone. So you click on crop. These are different settings for those of us who like to take pictures and know how to do all these settings and all that. You can go on with it. It's the same thing you do when you're trying to post pictures on IGs and all that. Now, you come to your crop. Maybe you can see that the image is what has extended to this point. The size of your box is this blue marks or blue ticks, let me call them like that, blue ticks here and all that. Maybe I want the image to start from her eyes and all that. So you can see this place will be off. This is the full image. The one outside here is the full image. This is the box shape and all that. So it tells you how you want to crop it. Maybe I want it to be from here. I don't want her hand to show. I only want her eyes to show. Maybe something like this. All you need to just, once you're done with that, just close this. You can see that this is what would show. It would only show from here. But you can see that if it shows from here, but there's space in here, it's not correct. It's not properly aligned. You come back here, you click on the crop, you try to make sure you arrange the image to fit well and all that. And then click on this, you can see everything is properly aligned. And then you can put that there. So that's one way to basically, I mean, you may not really have need to edit or crop, but I'm only showing you just in case, you ever need something like that. Now, another one I'm going to teach you is, don't ever, maybe you're trying to adjust your images. Let me make a copy of this first. Let's say, for example, you're trying to put it somewhere here, and you see that it's too much. You're trying to how do I say it? You're trying to reduce the size. You can see that as I'm doing like this, what is happening is that it's distorting. The images are distorting. It's no longer showing the right size and image and all that, which is not good. So that's where your scale comes in. It's not showing correctly. All right. So I'm going to delete this one and show the copy I made because I know I was going to make that mistake. Now, how do I reduce the size of this? Let me still make a copy of this so you still see. How do I reduce the size of this and still basically retain the shape, the size, the whole thing and all that? That's when you come to your scale tool. You go to your move tool, there's a drop down, you say scale. Scale is you're scaling things, but you're retaining the positioning and everything about that image or icon. It's the same way you also reshape your icons or resize I think that's the word, resize your images, or you resize your icon. So you click on your scale, and you can see now once you click on the scale, just scale from that. You can see it's retaining, it's not distorting. It's retaining, it's not distorting. So it's retaining everything. So you basically will scale from the side, from the corners. Don't scale from this. You scale from here, the corners and all that. And then you can place, wherever. If this is what I wanted to do, maybe scale, and all that. And that is it. If you understood everything about images, how to use the scale, now once you're done with that, go back to return this to move. If not, you can't be able to select any item because it's still on the scale. Don't forget, once you're done scaling anything, whether it's your image or your icon, once you're done scaling that particular element, go back to your tool panel and select back move so that you can be able to carry on whatever thing you're doing. If not, you won't be able to do that. If you understood every single thing about scaling, about images, the type of images you should use and what you should not use, please pop up on why. that you understand. And if you don't understand or you've got questions, please pop up and end. Let's get that fast so that we can end today's session. Okay, I can see a lot of Y's, a lot of Y's, a lot of Y's. Please, everyone, please pop up a Y or an N. Don't keep mute. I wouldn't know, because if you ask me this question during the week, I would answer you. Maybe I'll be a bit strict on that because I believe you said Y and you understood. Richard, you said N. What's the issue?
Yes, please. I think I missed out a little on exporting and then resizing of the picture. Yes, but I understand the use of plugins, but from
okay,
the importing rather, yes.
Okay, no problem. I'm happy to go back again and do that. No problem. Merit, you said Y and N. What's the N? What's the issue?
Yes, I understood everything you said, but please, can you go through it again so it could stick better?
No problem. I'll do that. Cynthia, is that the same case for you?
Yes, that's the same case.
No problem. So many of you said Y's, but I will go over again to make it clear. Now, I used on Splash this time around. I'm going to use Free Peak this other time around. It's still the same thing. So I've already dropped the link on the chat. Let's say, for example, I'm saying old man. Maybe I want an old man's picture. So it shows me different, different old men and all that. The orientation is on this other side. So let's say I want vertical. Maybe while I'm trying to design the box I want to give there, I want it to be a vertical or a horizontal. In fact, let's use horizontal. The last time I used a vertical, let's use a horizontal this time around. So I click on horizontal so that it can just give me only horizontal pictures to make it easier for me. Maybe I like this one. I will click on it. All right. It tells me to download. I download, very easy. It comes down again and tells me it's free download. I click on free download. Remember, you may be downloading, and after you download like 2 or 3 times, it may tell you sign up if you want to go for more. There's nothing there, just sign up so you can actually have more. You can be able to use more of these pictures if you want. So now it has downloaded. What do I do next? I come to my Figma. Now remember, I have to first create my box. So let's say, for example, what my orientation size is a landscape, right? Because I've downloaded a landscape picture. So I'm going to draw the landscape, maybe something like this. I think I've explained difference in portraits and landscape. Now, let me just zoom it. How do I import it so that it can fill in this box size that I've given to it? What you do next is you come to your tool panel. On your rectangle shapes, your shape tool, click on it. You see this place I say place image/video. You can also import videos here as well. So place images. I'm going to go to my image. I assume that my downloads, whatever I've just downloaded, should be on my download in my laptop or on my desktop. So this should be able to take me to, it should take me to my desktop or whatever. Then I go to my downloads. This is the image I just downloaded now. I'm going to click on it and I'll click open. Now, I like to say, wait for a few seconds and wait for this to pop up, like the cross sign with the image showing where should I place this. It's telling you, sir, ma, where should I place this? Just left click once, bam, and that is it. What happens is it takes the shape of the box that you've created. One thing is solved. Now, do you get up to this point before I move to scaling?
Yes.
Great stuff. Richard, what about you?
Sorry, did you say left click or right click? Which one?
Yes,
left click once.
Left. Okay, okay.
Yes. Great. So you understand that. The next
yes,
one.
I think I do.
Great. The next one I said is, let me make a duplicate of this. And I said, if you're trying to resize an image, if you resize it like this, it may distort. You can see it's distorting. I'm trying to resize this more. You can see it's distorting. It's not retaining the image itself, the complete image itself. And I said, that's not the best way to resize. Now, I said the best way to resize is, let me still make a duplicate of this, just to show you. You can see this is how I want this full picture of everything to show, but I want to resize it smaller so it can fit the section. Maybe I want to place it and all that. How do I do that? You come to your tool panel On your home too, there's a drop down here. Click on that and come to scale.
Sorry, your video seems to be frozen. I don't know if it's just from my end.
Is it still frozen? Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. Can every other person see my screen? Please.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So now, how do you scale? Basically, what it means, how do you reduce sizes of what you're trying to do to fit whatever you're working on? You come down to your tool panel. On your move tool, just there's a drop down there. See scale here. You click on your scale. But make sure, first of all, you highlight the picture. So let's start again. So you first of all click on the box you are trying to, you have to always select the thing you want to perform an action on. So you select the box, that's the image. You come to your tool panel. Under your move tool, there's something called scale. You click on your scale. And all you just do is come to you can adjust either here, 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 or here. So you can then adjust. You can see that it's retaining the image itself without distorting anything. So if I wanted it to be like this size now, for example, I will just reduce it up to size. Can you see? And the image is still retaining the same thing, but it has reduced the size. Once you're done, let's say this is the same way you do for logos. All right. Now, once you're done with this, it's on your scale, but you won't be able to do anything. You won't be able to, you can say, I can't even type, I can't do much because it's on your scale. What you need to do, always remember, I'd already put that with this thing, with V will take you back to move. But when it's on scale and all that, the next thing you need to do is to come back after you're done. Click down on the drop down and click back move. Is that understood? And then you carry on what you're doing. Do you all understand it now?
Yes.
Yes, I think I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is it yes, I understand it, or yes, I think? Is it yes, I understand it, or yes, I think?
Yes, I understand it.
Great.
Sorry, sir. Please, what did you say about cropping again?
Okay. So resizing an image. If this is the image you want to resize, let me make a copy. Let me make a copy of that. Don't resize like this when it's on move to. It will distort it. Can you see? It's distorting the whole thing. And I said the best way to do that is, let me make a copy of this again just in case. The best way to do it is come to your tool panel, select your tool panel. On your move, come down to scale, click it. Once that is being clicked, you cannot then adjust. You can see when I adjust, it's retaining the image itself. It's not distorting anything. It's only just reducing the size small and all that, but it's not, it's not like this one. Do you get the whole thing now? And then when you're done,
Yes.
go back to your scale and put it back to move. Do you understand it now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Now let's move over to, I think that should, we're almost done for today. We have just one more thing to talk about and we're done. Now, looking at this image, if you think A is better than B, put up an A. If you think B, the image in B is better than A, put up a B. Look at the image well. If you think when using an image, the A is better, put on an A. If you think the B is better, put up a B. I'm still waiting for everyone. I'm still waiting for everyone to still put up the answers. Great stuff. So the answer is a B. So I believe you all know that the reason is because this is blur. So it helps guide you now that you don't use blurring images and all that. Now, for the last thing we're going to talk about today before we call it a day, it's icons. Now, I don't need to explain what an icon is. You know what an icon is. It's a representation of something. It tells a story and all that. So you already know what icons are. I'm going to move into icons can also be like No, let me not say it like that. You already know what icons are. Now, there are 3 types of icons. You may ask, what's an icon? See, please, these are icons, so just in case, all these things you're seeing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is icon. This is also an icon. It's a representation of narrative you're trying to say. Something you would have, instead of putting like a text, you put up an icon for it. Now, there are 3 types of icons. This is the last class. This is the last thing for today. There are 3 types of icons. This one. Okay. Now, there are 3 types of icons. We have a field icon, we have an outline icon, and we have a mixed icon. Now, I'm going to show you an example of a field icon. It means that the background of that icon is totally filled, meaning it is colored. All right. An outline means that the inside of it is blank. Let me put it like that, but the outline is there. All right. Mix is that it has a bit of this, a bit of that. Don't worry, I'm going to show you. But first of all, how did you get your icons? This is one of the best places I like to get my icons, but please do well to also make other researches if need be, if you want to. Now I'm going to pop up, just going to drop the icon. Thank you, Judith. Yes, B is correct, A is blurry. So that is icons. I use this for my icons. There are a lot, but I use this one more. I'm just showing you my resources. Now, we talked about a field icon. What is a field icon? This is a field icon. This is using Facebook now, for example. This is filled. It means that the circle behind it is filled with a color. Even the image text or wherever, or let's call it a text or wherever, or shape inside is also filled with white. And then the circle background is also filled with a color, which is blue. It's called a filled icon. Same thing with this one is filled. Same thing with this one is filled. Now, I'm going to go to next stage, which one is an outline, meaning that it's only outlined. The inside is blank, but the outside is inside is blank, but the outside, is outlined. Let's look for that. This is an outline. You can see that the F on this one, for example, on the field, there's a color shaded inside of it is white. On the circle, there's a color shaded which is blue, is filled. If you look at this, it's blank, it's just transparent, because obviously the background here is white, okay? So it's transparent. So another way to know an outline is that the inside is usually transparent. So you can see the shape, which is the F for Facebook, is transparent. And then the rectangle box there is also transparent. So this is basically a good example of an outline. Let's see if we can find any other outline. There are several outlines, another, but let me just see. This is also an outline. So you can see this is an outline. This is also an outline. Okay, the F only is just an outline. That's just an outline. Okay, so now let's look at the next one, which is a mixed. Now, a mixed is a combination of both field and also outline. This is an example of a mixed. You can see that the rectangle box is outlined. The inside is transparent, but you can see that the F shape is filled. It has a color. So this is an example of a mixed outline and a mixed icon. This is also an example of a mixed icon. Remember, the background here is white, so the love sign is basically transparent. The circle is filled. It has a red color that fills that place. This is also transparent. This is also mixed. The cycle is basically filled, but the Facebook shape is transparent, so it's a mixed icon. This is also a pure. This is just a total outline. This is total outline. This is a total field. So that's basically one thing you need to know about the differences between a field icons. I may tell you design something and use field icons. I expect that you use field icons. If I say use outline, you only look for outline icons of that. If I say use mixed, you already now know what it mixed. So you asked about how to download, let's say, for example, Twitter, let's say Instagram. Someone asks how to, need to type it completely. Someone asks how to get an Instagram, those Facebook on your footer. How do you go about it? Now, if I look at this basically, okay, someone has a question. Gabriela, yes.
Sorry, I didn't get that part. So you say mix icons. Can you differentiate the both? I didn't even get the second one.
Okay, so a mixed icon is basically a combination of both your field and your outline. For example, this is a mixed, this is an example of a mixed icon. You can see that the circle is filled, but you can see that the what do you call it, the box of the I don't know if I call it camera, whatever, is an outline. So it's a transparent that is able to pick up the background of that. So that's that one. This basically is purely outline. You can see the inside is white. The bigger box inside is white. The background of this is also white. This is an outline. Okay, this is also an outline. This basically is a field, but I would advise don't use this. Let's look for a total field one. Let's look for a total field. I don't know if Instagram has a total field one. Let me use Facebook. I think Facebook had a proper one to show me. So this is field. Can you see? Hello?
Yeah.
Field. This is field. Yeah. Now, if this F was an outline, it would have actually picked up the blue color that is here at the background. But it's not picking up that. It has its own field color, which is white, and the background of the circle is white. Just understanding that field icons have background colors. Why outline colors? Please do also unmute. Why outline colors are transparent? Then why mixed icons are a combination of both of them? This is an example of a mixed icon. The field one is one of it. The F shape is a field icon. The circle, at the back of it is the outline one. So this is a mix. It's a combination of both field, which is the F shape, and the second one, which is an outline. This is another example of field. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question just to make sure you understand it. What is this? When you look at this, is this a field? Is this a mixed, or is this an outline?
This is a field.
Yes and no. The answer is actually no. The answer is it's a mixed.
So this is mixed?
Yes, this is mixed. Where is it again? It's confusing. Sometimes you could get confused. See, look at it as this, yeah? The F is transparent. The background here is white. Can you see the background of this page is white? The F is white. It's transparent to it. Can you see that? The F inside the icon, the F shape inside the icon is white. It's transparent, and the background is white. It's an outline. That's why I say it's mixed. Why the circle is filled? It has a color around it. It's filled. So this is a mix. Let me show you the one that is purely filled. This is a field. Oh, sorry. This is basically field. Sorry. This is basically field.
Okay.
Yes, this is basically field. This is an outline. You can see it's just an outline. The inside box is basically transparent. That's what I'm trying to talk about. The outside...
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
So from what you are saying right now is when it's colored, it means it's filled. But when it doesn't have a color, it's an outline.
That's another way to go about it. Something like Let's look for something like this is filled. Something like this now. You can see it's not color. It doesn't have a background color. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's an outline. Can you see that now?
Yes. Yes,
When
sir.
you look at this one, what will you call it?
This one now is an outline.
It has an outline, but it also has a field. So that's called a mixed icon.
Okay.
The
It
F,
has an outline. The F is a field, while the
yes,
body is an outline, so it's mixed.
exactly. Why this one is completely outlined? Can you see it?
Outline, yes, because the boats are not colored.
And
That's
you
why
can
it's
see
an
this one
outline.
is,
Yes,
you can see
they're
this
not
one
filled.
is, and this one is
Yes.
actually filled. Do you get that now?
Yes. Then this one you just touched now is mixed. It has an
Good.
outline and it has
Good.
it's filled, so it's mixed.
Good.
Right.
You understand it now. Well done.
Okay.
Jesse, you have a question.
Hello, sir. Okay.
Okay, sorry, sir, Mr. Moses. Jesse, I saw Jesse first. Sorry, sir. Jesse.
So I just want to know, can you just show me that field again and outline? Because when the other lady was trying to answer the question you asked her, it was a bit correct, but you said it's not correct anymore. So is it that if it's filled, does it have two both colors, like the inside
Yes.
color will be filled and even the letter will also be
Yes.
filled, even if it's
Yes.
two different colors? Can it also be
Yes.
filled like that?
Yes. Yes. As far as the both of them have got colors, yes, it's filled. But I'll show you again. But let me hear if it's the same thing from Mr. Moses.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Moses, you're muted.
Okay, what I will advise, sir, if we can just pull out this thing and just say this one is filled, this one is mixed, we'll just understand it. Because the more you are moving your cursor, we are getting confused. I don't even know the one you're pointing. Sometimes you point two at the same time. So
okay, no problem. I'm going to download a mixed. I'll download a field, and I'm also going to download an outline. And I think that will resolve it. This one you just have to basically pay more attention, because sometimes it confuses a lot of people. Even designers of today still will experience, sometimes they get confused. It happens. You just have to basically pay more attentively to it. Sometimes even you have to carefully look at something well to understand if that's, because sometimes you have some mix that almost look like a field. I have some field that almost look like a mix. So you have to always carefully look at it. I almost got confused myself right now. All right, so I'm just going to go back to it. This is a field, so I'm going to download it. Now, when downloading, make sure you download SVG. Do not download. Now, if you click on it, sometimes you may not see SVG here. Let me look for one that I don't know if this one may have. Some of them have. But when you're downloading, if you don't see SVG, go out and look for something else that you're looking for that has got SVG. Now, the reason why SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics, what basically it does is it helps you to change color. I can decide to change this black now to blue. Okay, I can decide to change it to red. But if I download it as a PNG, it will come as an image. I would only have to deal with the black I'm seeing there. I can't edit it. I can't change the colors. And then all these other ones, I can't do that as well. So always make sure you download your icons with that, SVG is a must. So I'm going to download this. So that one is downloading. Let's wait for it. Download. Yeah. Now let's look for, now that I've downloaded a field, I'm going to look for an outline. So this is an outline. I'm going to download SVG. So it's just a normal, easy way. It's not anything. Then I'm going to look for a mixed. That's a mixed. I'm going to download it. And yeah, downloaded. Now that you have downloaded all these things, let me just close this so that it doesn't get too busy. How do I import these images now? How do I import these images? That's the icons rather. You go to your shape tool. You go to your place image. It's the same process. Click on it. I should have this obviously at my download. So this is the way it's going to come. If it's Google Chrome, some might come in as Google Chrome, some may come in the form of an Edge, Microsoft Edge logo, their logo and all that, depending on what Internet Explorer you're using. So I'm just going to select. You can decide to select one by one and bring, but for this case, I'm going to multi-select. It's not a hard thing. Just click on one, click on Shift, second one, click on it, left click, third one. I've just selected the three things Most of us may also know how to do this. And you say open. Now, I would like to give for a couple of seconds. You click one here, bam. It's there, but you may not see it. It's there. See. All right. Click on the second one, give some space. Leave it there. Maybe on the third one, give some space. And all right, that's why I wanted to give some space. Let me go back and pick the last one. Because that one was overshadowing everything. So give some space. No. I think the last one, which one is going to be the last one? Is it the first? Let's see if it's this one. Yes, it's this one. So let me just put it here. So some of them come in different shape and sizes. So I'm going to teach you two things. Number one, how do you edit? Now you've learned how to download and import to you've known how to search for icons. You've known how to download them. You've known how to import them on feedback. The next thing I'm going to teach you is how to edit them. Once I show you how to, like edit them properly, resize them, then I'll show you the differences of which is which. Now, how do you go about it? You can see it may get lost because of the background. You zoom in. All right. So this is what I like to do for best practice. Highlight, left click and highlight inside and only select the shape. This is a box that contains the title box of this frame. You can see it's coming as a frame. All right. But I don't want the frame. I want the logo itself, but I don't want the frame. Now, what do? You highlight, left click, highlight from outside to just only capture the frame itself. Once you've gotten that, all you need to do is you can decide one way to do it. You can say right click, copy, come out and paste. But I usually don't like doing that. So the best I would say you should do, once you've done this, left click and just drag it out. That is the best. So that it doesn't still carry this frame. I'll do it again. This is exactly the frame. This is a frame. You can see it's a frame here, but the frame size is 48. The logo's coming as a frame. But I want this frame. I don't want this here. I don't want this frame. I want this. How do I get the logo and not get the frame with it? I will left click, highlight so that the logo inside will be highlighted. Once that's highlighted, I left click again and I just drag it out from the frame. And that's it. Then I delete the frame. Click on the frame, delete. This is your field. Now I can change color to green. You get? So I can change color to green. I can change color to this. So this is your field. Now let's work on another one. How do I do it again? I would highlight from outside to just to inside with left clicking, holding my left click of my mouse. Then I will left click again and I will drag it out. I will delete the frame. Bam, and all that. I can change color. But now if you notice, when I click on this, another way to know a field color and an outline color is another trick. When you basically like trying to place a color, the field obviously shows. All right. But now you look at this carefully. You can see here what is highlighting is the field. The stroke is not highlighting. What's highlighting here is the field. Let me click on this. You can see the field is not activated. What's activated is a stroke. That means outline. It's just giving a stroke outline. That's another way to get to know your an outline. So now with this, I can't change on the field because if I try to add color, it won't go. You can see it's rather distorting everything. It won't work. So meaning that I apply any color outline, which is the stroke. Now this is another thing you now learn on your property. So I can now then change this color to maybe this color. I can also increase the how thick or however the line, how thick or whatever I want it to be, if needed. Okay, and all that. So now this is an outline. The next one now is a mixed. What do you do next? Let me just shift this here. What do you do next? Highlight again because it's in a frame, but I want to just take the logo out. Highlight it and bring it out. Delete the frame. Now it's looking too big. I will show you how to, I think I've already showed you how to scale. It's the same way to scale it down and all that. Is not a different thing. Now, this basically also shows a stroke. I can actually now then come here All right. I can now then come here and change. Now I can change this color to maybe this, and then change this other one. Did you see what happened? I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Now, you see that because another way to know a mixed is that it brings two colors on your selection. One is the lighter. You can see it here. One is this color, one is this color. It gives you two color. It's a mixed. Even sometimes even trying to tell you that this is a mixed icon. I know that sometimes it tells you that. All you now need to do, if I wanted to change both of the colors together to be the same color, I click on the first one and maybe I select this color. You can see that the inner one is filled. This outer one is outlined. The inner one is still showing filled. Now, what do? I come down here again on this side. It's showing a linear. You can decide to work on this, but I don't want to teach you linear on all that now. When we get to that point, I'll do that. If it shows a linear, just click on this first one, which is solid. It will help you then select the particular linear. Is when we are trying to create two pictures. We are trying to create two colors together. You want to combine two or more colors together, like pink and black, and give it one different shade. That's just it. But I don't want us to go on that now. Will be a time when we will do that. So just take it back to solid and then pick back this color. And that is it. If you understood what I did here, this is a mixed. You can see sometimes it tries to tell you this, sometimes it doesn't. And all that. So if you understand what I have said so far, please put up a Y. If you don't understand what I've said so far, please put up an N so I can show you the scaling and then I just talk about your assignment. If you understand, put up a Y. If you don't understand, put up an N. Please, let's put up our comments so that we can basically round up. I'm not getting enough responses. More responses. If you also are keeping mute, I would also keep mute and we'll keep waiting. So let's put up. The reason is so that you don't ask me during the week to explain again. It's going to be more stressful. Okay, so let's get it done and understand it now. Ask your questions if need be, if you do not understand. All right, so Cynthia, what's your question?
Okay, the last one you just did, the mixed part.
Yeah.
The F, that's the inner one. Yeah. I didn't see how you, I didn't understand how you highlighted on it. You were still highlighting on the outer box. Does it mean that for the mix too, you can still highlight from outside, or I still need to click on the F inside to change the color? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand. So when it says something is a mixed, right, that means it has a combination of two different types of icon. It has a field in it. It also has an outline in it. So if you give the outline a color, you also have to now then give the field one a color too. You know, on the outline, if you just change only the outline icon just once, that's it. The field, if you just change the field once, that's it. But when it's a mixed icon, you have to change two things. You change the color for the icon. I'll redo it again for you to understand. And you change the field one. But do you understand the explanation before I redo it again? Do you understand this part now?
Yes, I understand the part. I understand it. It's just how you got to the mix. That's what
I'll do. Yeah. No problem. I will do it again. No problem. Gabriela, your hands are raised. Gabriela, your hands are raised.
My question, yes, sorry. My question is, I tried downloading an icon and tried changing the color. I noticed the color is just changing on the edge, not inside. I want to change the field.
What did you download? What type of icon?
I downloaded the play icon. It has a blue color.
No, so I wanted to see you have to be specific. What icon did you download? Because you said you understood.
I downloaded a play icon, like a play button
icon. Play button icon. That's what I'm saying. Is it a field? Is it an outline? Because when you say download button, they could have.
Okay.
download button as a field, as an outline.
Okay.
I think in your project, your assignments, there's one that is an outline. I think so.
Okay.
So which one did you
So
download?
let me just check what I did. Okay, I downloaded both field and mixed icon. It has
Okay. So which
outline.
so which one is the issue?
So I tried changing it. I wanted to see if I could change the color of the play button. Everything I did, I just noticed that just the edge of the button is changing. Like where you have the corners, that's where it's coloring the red. I wanted to just change to red, so I noticed that's where it's just changing. The blue icon is still, the blue color is still intact, while the edges are just changing.
So that means that's a mixed icon, if I understand better. That's a mixed icon. So you have you have two things there. One is changing, but the other color there is not changing.
Yes,
Then
and it's just changing at the edge.
Yeah, it's just changing at the edge. That's the outer line. That's the outline.
Yes.
So, but the inner one is not changing, right?
Yes.
Okay. That should most likely be a mixed icon. But you know, I'm only talking based on what you said. You know, so I don't know if you are connected to the internet to share your screen. Are you connected to your laptop and the internet to share your screen?
Yes.
Go ahead and share your screen. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Oh, please, others, I'll come to you, okay? I just want to solve everything one by one.
So I don't think I've shared my screen before, but let me just try.
So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the fifth button with an arrow inside a rectangle. Yeah. So if you look at that, that's basically a field icon. So that icon of sharing button is a field icon.
Yes, and they're saying I should select the tab to share, but I can't find my Figma screen.
So what are the tabs are you seeing? You will see tabs like Chrome tabs, window, entire screen. So okay, you know what? Click on your window. Click on your window. Then click on.
Okay. So I can see my Figma now.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. So this is what I downloaded.
Well, it's still yet to show.
I just wanted to try. Is it small?
So yeah. So that basically is a field icon. So what exactly are you saying? That's a field icon.
Okay, so it's a field icon.
Yeah, that's a field icon. Yeah.
Okay, so I tried changing the color, but it's not working.
What color?
I wanted to just put red and see how it would look.
Change red. Let's see.
Let's. So this is how it looks. Once I click on it, I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
Already on red, but it's just the edges that are changing, like this.
Okay, bring back the image. It could also be how you did it and all that. How did you download it? Did you download it with SVG?
Yes, I did.
Okay, redo it again. Let's see. Walk us through your process.
Okay. So this is the play button I downloaded.
So click on it.
So it has come out.
Okay. So zoom it. Zoom it. No. Remember that I just told you don't adjust it with distance. Right now, you're very distorted that logo. It's the same thing with your images. You don't just zoom. That's why I said zoom.
So how do I zoom? It's through the shift button.
Are you using a mouse?
Yes.
Control. Press down your control and then the roller of your mouse. The rollers on your mouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. That's how to zoom.
Yes. Yes.
Keep zooming. Keep zooming. I need to see if it's on the frame.
Okay. Is that okay?
Okay. So this one didn't come with. Now you are trying to change something, right?
Yes.
So now click on it. Click on the box itself again, like the image itself. Now go to. Okay. I see. This is This is not the right one. So yes, that sometimes you may want to. This is actually a field, but it's not being the field section is not being activated. That's why it's not changing. Now let's see what's been changed. What's changing? Go scroll down to your property bar. Let's see if your stroke is what's activated. Okay. Now this is how you change it. The reason why it's as if it's not changing is a field icon, but the reason why it's not changing, sometimes this happens. That's why when you're selecting an image, if you select those that have got multi-colors on your field icon, you would have to change each of those colors separately.
Sir, please, I'm
Sometimes
not seeing your screen.
I'm not the one sharing. It's Gabriela.
Okay.
Yes.
Is any other
Okay,
person seeing Gabriela's screen?
I'm not seeing it.
Is everyone seeing?
Yes, I can see Gabriella's screen.
Okay,
Yes.
Gabriela, just stop the sharing and share it again so that Mrs. Christabel can see your screen. So stop the sharing and then share again. The same place you shared. Just go
So
back
you
to your,
said
go back to your
I
Google
should
Meet.
stop sharing.
Yes, go back to your Google Meet.
Okay.
Like leave out of Figma, go back to Google Meet.
So I stopped sharing.
Now reshare it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it now.
You can see it now. Great stuff. So
Okay.
I just have to look at it properly. This is actually a mix, not really a field. Because if it's a field, the field icon will be, because that's why I asked her to scroll down. So when she scroll down, that's another way you get to know. Sometimes it's very tricky. It may look like this, and it looks like normally this is meant to be a field icon. But in a way, it's also very confusing because it's got different colors inside of it. Now, when you have experience, you may not experience this like this most times, but sometimes you may do. So I'm glad that this happened. I always say if you're going to download, just like Instagram now, Instagram, if you're trying to download an Instagram icon, bear me with, you're going to have this issue at times, especially if you want to change the color, because Instagram logo, the icon has got different shades. If you go look at your Insta, you see the icons have got different shades. So if, for example, I don't think there's a need to change the icon and colors because you want to represent the brand's logo, right? But let's say, for example, you wanted to actually change it to fit whatever you're trying to do. You would then have to change it independently one by one. So I advise you, there's really no need, if it's not like a logo, a company's logo, and maybe just a logo icon, you're just an icon you want to use for something, right? I always say go for the plain one. If you go for the one that's got multicolors, there's nothing bad, but just bear in mind you would have to change each of those colors. So I'm happy that this actually came on because you may not find this regularly every now and then. Now, what do? You can see that you can see the selection colors on the property panel. You are going to change each of those colors. Whenever you change the black to whatever color you want to change, the black is that shade of black that you can see inside, like diagonal. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Inside the box, diagonal. Now change that black and give it a different color. Click on the black on the selection colors on your property. Gabriela? Go to your property panel. Is she still there? Gabriela? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Alexa, I can hear you.
Okay, I guess it's a network.
Hello.
So Gabriela, take your mouse down to the selection colors. Okay, so Gabriel, I think we may have to do that one section one by one because your network is bad, so that we don't keep everyone waiting. I'm just going to cancel your own sharing and then continue. Okay, so Mr. Moses, you asked the question and you raised your hand. Over to you.
What I wanted to ask.
Gabriela, please unmute your mic. Gabriela, unmute your mic.
Okay, what I wanted to ask is concerning the pictures he said that can be adjusted. He said is when we want to copy the picture, download it, we should download which of them. Is it, there are two names you mentioned, and one cannot be adjusted, one can be adjusted. And I was thinking whether it's the same problem.
Mr. Moses, are you on the road? I don't know if it's from you.
Yes, I said I'm on transit.
Okay.
I'm on
Let
the
me try
road.
to rush
Yes.
up the question because quite noisy.
Yeah. Yeah. I said which of them should we download? Is it you called it two types of download? One can be adjusted, one cannot be adjusted. So which of them?
No, I said you can adjust both your images and icon, but I said don't adjust them with your move tool. You have to adjust them using your scale tool. So on your tool panel, so if you wanted to adjust an image or you wanted to adjust an icon, all you need to do is click on whatever you want to adjust, go to your tool panel. Under your move tool, there's a drop down, click on scale. We went through that when we're adjusting images. Then you can adjust so that you don't distort the icon size and all that, or the image and all that. You can just only reduce the
No,
size.
that's not what I'm asking.
And
I
once you're done,
understand
go
that.
back to your
I'm
move
talking
tool.
about the like.
Okay.
I understand that. That's not what I'm asking. You know, you said when we are trying to download that Facebook icon, or you were saying something about that we shouldn't. There's a name you call. There are two types of image. We shouldn't download this one.
Okay. So I said that if you are downloading things like for a company logo, right, that logo has got multiple colors and all that, there may not be any need of you changing the color. So whatever Gabriela was going through, you may not have to do that because it's the company logo. And I gave an example. I said Instagram, for example, has got multicolors. Let me just type in Instagram so you can see that Instagram has got multiple colors. You can see there are different shades of this color, different shades of it. Now, for example, if I wanted to, let me download this so you can see this one does not have SVG. I wouldn't download it unless it has SVG. I'll look for another one that's got SVG. Now, you can see that's got different shades. I'm going to download it. This, Gabriela, this will be able to explain your own side of it. So I've downloaded it. I'm going to then import it here now. So the first thing I do, I highlight from outside inside, just highlight everything, bring out the logo out, and I delete the frame. Now, if you look at this, I'm saying that it has got different colors inside of it. So if it was a company logo, there's no need to change it because that's the company's logo. All right. But if there's a need of why you needed to change that, I will teach you how to do that. But rather, I said, I always prefer, if it's not a company logo, it's just a normal icon you need. I always say go for a plain one, something that you don't need to, change multiple colors like that. Let me see if I can find any plain one for Instagram. Let me see. Sometimes maybe something like this now. You can see just plain, just black and all that. Just this one and all that. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Something like this, but though it's outlined, but this is what I'm trying to say, or something like this too, but something like this which is filled mixed rather. So if you go for something like this, you would have to change all of these things. So now if I have to do this, I have to come here, I have to change all of these colors. You can see how many color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to change all of it. I click on one, maybe I give you this color. I click on this other one, maybe I give you can see what I'm doing is changing. I click on here, at the end of the day, I'm already changing their whole color. And I don't see any need for that. So that's what I'm trying to say. You can see at the end of the day, the whole color is changed. I just gave rubbish because I just wanted to show you basically what I mean. I don't know if you understand. So I say for company logos, just leave the colors like that. You may not need to alter it unless if there's a need for why you're doing that. But I said it's better for you to go for plain colors for your icons that wouldn't stress you with so many multicolors unless you don't mind having to do that. I don't know if I was able to answer your question.
Yes.
All right. Now let me answer Cynthia. I don't know if it was Cynthia before I forget. She talked about this mixed one. I'm going to go back again and do that. So let me just bring back the image of the mixed. I think it should be this one. Yeah, I think it should, yeah, is this one. So the first thing you do, Cynthia, I believe this is your question, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is basically what to do. All right. So now I have imported it. The next thing I'm going to do is to get out the logo and I will delete the frame. Okay. Now you can see that it's a mixed. It's showing two colors here. It's also showing a stroke. The stroke is for the outer line. Now, how do I change? Because this F shape is a filled icon. The outer box is an outline icon. You can see it's transparent inside. So this is black. So if I change the page of this now to white, you can see, you see this is not changing, but this um, F shape 2 is filled. It's still retaining that color, but the outer line is transparent because it will try, fix to whatever color that you've got on your background. Okay. Now, how do I change both of them if I wanted both of them to be orange? I click on it first of all. I would first change the outer, which is the stroke. I click on the stroke. Now, I said you may see linear or radial or whatever like this. And I'm saying that for now, I wouldn't want to teach you about linear yet. When we get to a point, I will. So I wouldn't want to confuse you. So if you come through this, just click on this. This is linear. The gradients. Just come to solid. Click on this first one. I just want a single color. That other one is like mixing two colors together. Let me just show you. Just like mixing two colors together. Maybe I want to select maybe I want to select, maybe let's say I want to select this here. Can you see just selecting two colors? You can see. Can you see that Cynthia?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't want to go with teaching linear for now so that I don't confuse you guys. Just come to the solid color. All right, and then I'm just going to choose this one. So you can see the solid one has now been done. How do I do the F to change as well, which is the filled color? Remember, this is a mixed icon. It's a combination of two different types of icon. How do I change this one? I change it by coming down to the selection colors, which is this linear again. But remember, I said I don't want to use linear. I think I've already showed you how to even use linear. I go to solid and I click on the same color, and then it appears the same way. Do you understand that now? Do you understand that now?
Small big. I don't really understand it though. Almost like the same thing again. Like what I'm getting from what you're saying is even the F take shape, the inside that the F color takes are you saying that the F color also?
Sorry, you were breaking. I didn't hear your question. You were breaking. I didn't hear your question.
Now.
You see that? Hello? Cynthia, are you there? Did anybody hear a question? Because I didn't hear it.
No.
Yeah. I didn't hear a question. Cynthia, are you there? You want to go back and come out? I mean, go out and come back in if that will help, because I can't hear you just in case. So I think we'll just move on. Lola, what's your question?
Honestly,
Hello,
I
can
don't
you
want
hear
to
me
drag
now?
people back.
Yes, Cynthia, I can hear you. Lola, sorry about that. Cynthia, I can hear you. Cynthia, go just drop the call and come back in because we can't hear you. I think your network. Lola, over to you.
Right. Like I said, I don't want to drag people back, but the whole icon thing is quite confusing to me. But maybe if I watch the video, I would understand it. Like from how to import the icon, like where to get it from. It's very, the field icon, the outline is very confusing for me.
Yeah.
But either I call you privately or something, or I watch the video because I think it will be dragging people back too much.
Okay. So do you want to watch the video again? And if you don't understand it, you can let me know. Or maybe on our Tuesday class, you can call me, and all that, and I'll be happy to explain that again. But just a recap, this is what an icon, a field icon looks like. It's totally filled. An outline, you can see transparent everywhere. They're all transparent. The outer is transparent, the inner is transparent. All right. A mixed icon is a combination of outline, which is the box, the rectangle box, which is outline. You can see here is transparent. And I said another way to check it again is my page now is black. If I change this color to white, you can see that the box outside, which is a mix, is transparent, but the inner one is a filled icon, which is the shape of the F, the Facebook shape is a filled. So even if I change it to white, it's still showing blue and all that. So that's a mixed icon. This one is a filled, this is an outline, and this is a mixed. It's
Sorry,
something.
quick question.
Yes.
Sorry, quick question. The field one.
Yes.
Right. I don't really. Is the F black or it's not, or it's taking the color of the background? I'm not sure, because what's the difference between this one and the mixed one?
Okay, I'll show you that. Good question. So although it's actually showing this, it's still actually a field. It's very confusing, I know. Although it's showing this, but it's still actually a field because it's taking a larger space. The larger space of this is actually
Okay.
field. But if you look at this, it's all basically like the F is still, do you get the F is
Yeah.
basically outlined. It's like a stroke and all that. It's like a line stroke and all that. Then the rectangle is like a line stroke. If you look at this, the rectangle box is a line stroke. That's why you can see the stroke here is activated. But this one is totally filled, like it has a background color. So it's basically a combination of both. Another way to be able to understand it again is, let me look for a plain one. Let me use Facebook. If you also type things correctly wrongly, it wouldn't show. Let me look for, this is a good example again of a field, full background. So even if I change my page background, I will still get this black. This is a beautiful example again. This is another example of field. This is an example of field. Do you understand field now?
Yeah.
And let's look for an outline. This is an outline. Are you seeing it's just line, stroke lines?
Yeah.
So this is an outline. Let's look for another outline. This is an outline. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
This is an outline.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is there another one here? Okay. Now let's go for, okay, this is an outline too. Now let's go for a mixed. Now this is where it sometimes gets confusing for a lot of persons. Let's go for a mixed. This is a mixed. You can see that the box is outlined, but the F Facebook is filled. Can you see that? This one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good. Remember, there's one yeah. So this is it. Then another one as an outline is a mixed rather. Let's look for a mix. This is also a mixed.
Yeah. The one by be right beside it, is it not mixed also?
This one is also a mixed.
Okay.
This one is also a mixed.
Mm-hmm.
This one is also a mixed. Because the F inside is the one that has got the outline. In this one, and then the box then is the one that's got the field. This one, the F is the one that's got the field, but the box outside is one that is
okay.
You understand it now?
Yeah.
This is something like what Gabriela downloaded. Something like this that's got different color shapes. So I think I've already showed her how to do that. It's just basically having to change each of these colors. So I always say avoid something like this. Why don't you go for something like this that's just easy to just change than going for something like this? Unless if your client requires that. So do you understand it now?
Yeah.
That is better now. But when you watch the video, it will be more clear. Don't worry. You have learned a whole lot today, so sometimes this is bound to happen. That's why I'm trying to finish up the class so I can give you assignments. All right, the next person is Jesse.
First of all, before I ask my question, so I just feel that the explanation, can you take me back to the icons of Facebook?
Yeah.
So I feel most of us, our misunderstanding is we tend to make the frame similar to what the icon is, because when you click on any of the example, the frame it's looking as if the frame is part of the outline. So that's why most of us, we don't understand if it's filled or not filled, except when you take it to the Figma and try to remove the frame. That's what we'll know what it is. So basically, once you click on it, she just try to point the main icon so we can know what it is. Because, for example, some outline now, the one that doesn't even have anything, but when you click on it, the frame tend us to be confused. Do you understand? Because the frame might be showing inside the box.
All right, no problem. Let me just tell the line now. Let me now then show you this. I think I have actually, so I'm just going to show one by one. So let's click on this first one. Now, this is the frame of this. This is actually mixed. Now it comes with a frame. Remember I said, take only the icon, highlight and drag out the icon and delete this frame. Now this is your icon. Now when you look at this icon, basically it's a combination of two. So it's a mixed. It has the field. It has also the outline. The box inside here is an outline. The box is an outline. But this F, which is the Facebook shape, is a field. Now, let me do something by increasing the slides. You can see that no matter how far I've increased my page color, you can see that the box, which is the rectangle box, see, this is just the same thing like doing, it's the same thing like doing this. I come here and I draw a box. I draw a box. Now, instead of me giving it a fill, right, I give it a stroke. I take off the fill and then I increase this. Okay, then I draw up an F, like I write an F. Let me make this bigger. Let me type 200. No, let me, it's not enough. Let me type 500. Okay, let me give it this color. So this is actually, this like this is mixed. This is an outline. The box is not filled. I can't fill it. How do I, if I want to fill it, meaning that this has to be filled like this, right? But it's not. It's showing here is transparent. This particular one has a fill color. The F has got a fill color, and I can actually change it to whatever color I want. This is a stroke and not a fill. So it's an outline. I can only change the outline. That's the line. I don't know how to explain it better again. It's like a stroke, like the line. You know, I don't know the right word to use. But I don't know if you understand now.
Yes.
This basically is field. The F inside here is a field. And then this is an outline. So that's how to know. Now, if it was just an F, let me bring this F out. Let's delete this one. F. So now, let's say this F now. This, if you look at this now, this is a field. You can see even the field is activated. I can change it to any color. It's a field. Now, let me just delete it and then show you again with the logo we've been doing. I just wanted to show, explain it that way again, if that would make some form of sense. I expect that this may happen because I usually get this a lot. So how do you change this? You change it by, you see your stroke. You see your stroke is activated. Your color, your fill, you can see your fill does not have any color. That's why it doesn't have anything. It's not showing any color. Now, how do you change the outer, which is the rectangle box? You click on this. Remember, I said just take it back to solid. Click this color. That's changed. Remember, it's a combination of two. How do you know? Because when you change one, the other one will still be there. So that's another way to know that it's a mixed icon. Because when you change one color, the other color is still there. You come to this, you click on it again. Scroll down. You see your selection colors. You see this blue one. Click on it. Take it back to solid and click this yellow one. And everything has been changed. I don't know if this now makes some sense on the mixed one. Jesse?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, then the field one is less, I think this should be field. Okay, no, this one is icon. So I'm going to highlight this one. So this one is outline. So I'm going to just highlight that out, take off the frame, and then you can see that your field is still not showing. Now I'm going to do one that will see that this field will show. This field is still not showing. It's telling you that this is an outline. If I go to the selection color, it's only showing me one color because it's not a mixed. If I click on this and I make any application to this, it will change. So that's another way to know that it's an outline color. You can see that the inside is transparent. The box, the rectangle box is transparent. The F shape is also transparent. So it's an outline. It's just a shape built with outline, like a stroke. Now let's move over to the third one, which is the field. Now this is the field. I'm going to pop it in here now. I'm going to bring this out. So you can see that immediately the field color now is showing. Before now, what has been showing has been stroke. Now the field is showing. This already tells you this is a field color. If I change this now, automatically it changes. The F is just transparent because it's just a background color. That one is fine, but it's a field color. Because I don't have to change multiple things. If I had to change multiple things, then that would be a mixed color. But it's a field color. Because it's only showing me just things we change. That's another way to understand it. I don't know if everything is a bit clearer now. Do we all understand it? It's not rocket science. When you watch the video again and just pay attention, I know there's too many things you've learned today, so your brain is already beginning to go gaga, but it's very easy to understand. It's not hard. I know that. It's really not hard. This is a field. This is a mixed. This is a mixed. This is a mixed. This is a field. This is an outline. Both the inside and outside transparent. Inside, outside transparent.
Sorry, I
This,
want to ask a question.
yeah.
So, for example, we are designing something. Is it that this icon, if we make a mistake, is going to affect what we are doing, or we can just go to the icon where we can get icons according to our taste? We just download, paste it, do our design, or there's a way, because getting to know what is field, what is not field, kind of is it a big problem that if you don't know this thing, it's going to affect your design, or you can just do it anyhow you want it? Just go to the icon, select, know what is field and know what is field, know how to design and everything. Depends on your choice.
Okay, so the answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that you need to know this. If you're working for an organization, they say, okay, Jesse, I'll make sure that you make use of a field icon or try your icons. You need to know what field icons, as UI designer, is part of the things they expect that you should know. All right. They say, oh, make use of mixed or make use of an outline. So you need to know it. If it was your own personal project and all that, then you'll be the one to make the decision of what you want to do. But I will also tell you one principle as well. You know, one principle is it's always good for consistency as well. Maybe a few times you may break that, maybe, but for consistency, if you're using a field icon in a particular section, in a particular place, use field icons all throughout. If you're using an outline, use an outline all throughout. It may not be all throughout your landing page, don't get me wrong. It may be for that particular section. Now let's look at your assignment you guys are going to do. Let's have a view of your assignment which you guys are going to do. There are icons you guys are going to download. Now, if you look at this, I used a field icon all throughout. These are all field icon. Everything is field. This is field. This is field. This is field. Okay. Now, you can see that it's much easier. It's nicer. Imagine if I used an outline here. I use one field here. I use one outline. I use one mixed. It's still the same thing of we are talking about. That consistency is not there. It's not clean. It's not visually appealing and all that. So it's always good to, know what type of icons you are using. Now, if you look at this as well, there are some times that you may use both icons together. That's why I said sometimes it may happen. Now, in this particular section, I decided to use a field here. This is a field icon. This is a field icon, but here is a mixed. It has outline. You can see it's not fully filled. It has an outline. The inner boxes are filled and all that. So basically, it depends on what your clients want you to do or the company you work for, what they want. But it's just for you to know this. Now, for the logos, is another place you're going to put these icons. All of them are all filled. Now you can see I said sometimes if having to get those multiple colors will give you stress, because me, for example, I wanted to just color it green. All right, so you can match the background of this. All right, and that's what I expect you to do. And I said instead of going to go and download those one that's got multiple colors, you can download the plain ones. Now let's go back to Instagram and do that. Come to Instagram. Now you look at it, you look at the logo, it's a few logo you're looking for, but I don't want all these multiple colors so that it's easier for me to edit. I look at the assignment, what has been given to me. Okay, something like this. You look at it, where's my, yeah. You look at it, I may now then come down here and I'm like, okay, let's see, something like this. Looks like and all that. I will then download this, SVG, download. I will come here, place image. I'm sure you already know how to do all of this because I've explained it severally. Now, the next thing I do is I like to get out the logo itself and then delete that frame. I want this to be green. I come here and I select green. So you can see that this green is the same green that is here. Now this box is not part, this box is just an image. I only just downloaded this. These things inside are the only icons I do. These are just normal boxes. Then all I just need to do is just drop a normal box. No need to go through that. You already know how to do that. Just draw a normal box and give it a corner radius. I gave it a corner radius of 8, but you can decide what you want to do. And then you place this icon inside. But remember, I already told you about how to scale. You can see this is already too big. Now, how do you scale? You come here, click on your scale, and then you then scale it down so that it retains the size, everything. You put it inside a box to fit. Let me just drop a normal box. I'm not going to design like the way it should be because you already know how to do that. Right click, bring to front, and then something like this. I said I'm not going to do that. I'm still doing it. Okay, something like this. This is just exactly what I just did here. Now, if the box is too big and all that, you can now then also adjust the size of the box to fit what you're trying to do. So that's just it. That's how to do this. It's not hard. So all these are filled. So one thing I said, you're a UI designer, you need to be able to interpret things when you see it. These are all filled. In this section, I gave you a mix of both of them. This is filled, but this is not filled. It's a combination, it's a mixed. Now, these are all filled as well. Now, like this icon, this is an icon, this is an outline. You can see there's no color to it. It's an icon. Okay, it's just an outline, icon. It's not filled, it's just an outline. So I try to basically place these things here and there. This basically is an icon. This is just a box, normal box you draw. This is an icon, but this is an outline. It's not a field, it's an outline. It doesn't have a field color. It's an outline. Okay, this basically is a field. It's just a check mark. So obviously it's a field. So it's very easy. It's something you need to understand and all that. But to answer your second question, it depends on what, if it was your personal project, or the client you're building for don't mind, you can do what you want to, but for guiding principle, is always best to use for each section you're designing, use that same particular one, unless if there's a need to. Why? Maybe that particular icon, you can't find it on a field and you can only find it on an outline. Maybe that's just the only reason then. Okay, well, but I want to believe that you can always find whatever you're looking for in whatever icon you're trying to get, just in case if you're not able to find, and that is, that can be doable. Okay, so I believe that's a bit clear. Watch the video. I've explained this icon all over and all over and all over. I understand that sometimes when you've learned a whole lot, it may be like anything that's entering is just not entering. But when you calm down, watch the video again, it's very easy to understand. One thing I also say is go on the icons and practice and all that, because if you just learn and you're not even practicing, you wouldn't even know how to identify it. So it's very necessary you need to know this. Mary Rose, over to you before I share your assignment.
Okay, sir. My question is, in typing, is there like any standard line spacing using UI UX. And
Okay.
then secondly is during your placement of icon, is it necessarily compulsory that you must put it in a shape?
Okay. So it's not necessarily compulsory. Give me a second. So it's not necessarily compulsory that you have to put it in a shape. Not all icons you need to put in a shape. Like if you look at through this one now on your assignment, this play button one, it doesn't have a shape background. I didn't put it in a shape and all that. But I'm only just teaching you most of all these things just in case, so at least you would have learned different concepts, different ideas, and all that. Now, you may ask, how did I do this box and all that? It's the same rectangle box. Just draw a rectangle first of all. Click the stroke to activate the outline, and then you click off this minus sign to take off the fill. That's just how to do this. Then the corner radius is what you already know. You just maybe set it 3, 4, 5, or wherever, depending on wherever. That's how to do this one. I just remember. So, like I said, what to do is you drop a rectangle. It will come out as a fill. First, click on the stroke and all that. Then you click on this minus sign to take off the fill. You can decide to increase how thick or wherever you want the line to be, if you want, or you can just leave it like that. So I don't know if I answered your question, Maryose, or did I? Is there any other one I forgot to say?
Line spacing, line spacing.
Now, line spacing. Okay, so there is no specific standard way to give line spacing. So you mean between one line to this line, Abby?
Yes, like all
No,
this in
no,
Microsoft.
there is none. There is none. You will be the one to be the judge of that. When you look at something, this is where you set it, your line height. Okay, you look, for example, now if this is on 0, you can see it's too close. Now, if I put it on 20, it's too close together. All right, give you some breathing space. Now I check again. Let me put it on 25. Maybe not too there. I might give it a 30. So it's you making that decision. I might put on 30. I'm like, okay, I like it. Some persons may also say I like 32. Some persons may also say I like 35. But please don't give it too much space like you're giving 50. Let me give it 50 now and see what it's gonna be like. Don't give so much space because you're trying to get to look somehow. You can see this doesn't look nice. And all that is the spacing is too much. Or you see someone giving a 70, but it's too much now. You get so it's just making you basically make that decision. So as a UI designer, you make decisions. Is that a bit clear now? Hello?
Yes, I'm okay.
Oh, great stuff. Okay. So that brings me to the end of today's class. Today has been a very long session. I just need to explain this so that you'll be able to know how to do this. This one is the same thing. Just drop a cycle and then the same way to import image, just click on it. It will appear there. It's not a hard thing to do. Everything here has been thought how to do. Now, for this box, you may ask how this last thing I want to show you. How do you do this box? Let's do it. Let me just get out one just so I can show you. Now, how do I do this? Someone asks images and text together. How do you do it? Just draw a rectangle first of all. Okay, you draw a rectangle first of all. Now, you can see that they're all corner radius. Let me give it like I don't know. Let me give it like 10. I don't cram this thing, so it's not like I'm cramming anything. Then you can see that there's an image here and there's a text. The best way to do it is to create another box. All right. So I'll create another box. Now, remember the corner radius to give it is 10. You have to give it another 10 so that it will fit. Okay. So I give it another box, maybe something like this, make it like half, maybe something like this. Maybe give it another color just so I get to know that's a different color. The next thing I do is I put back the 10 here as well so that it would rhyme. All right. Now, once I do that, you can see that this shape, this edge is flattened. Only this side is round. Let me show you. You can see how it is. The image here, I made here round, but I made here flattened and all that. Let me put it back. How do you go about it? Now, all these are round. How do you go about it? These are not hard. It's not a hard thing. Just come to this place. Independent corners. All you're doing is, this is the down left, put it to 0. The down right, put it to 0. Enter. And that's it. You've done this. So you've done this. All you just need to do the same way you do this right up. Let me just copy this and put here for now. You type your right up like you know how to do. Bring it to front. Let me bring this out. Bring it to front. Okay, the same color. Okay, let me put this to white so that it would pop out well. Yeah, so you just crop this whole thing and all that, and then here's the image. You go and select an image, you know, from wherever you want, if whether you want to use a plugin or whether you want to download from online and all that, and then you put it here. Remember, we talked about how to edit. You come here, you click on your crop, and then you just push down a bit, you know, so you can get the face. This is just like when you're normal cropping pictures to post on Instagram, so it's not a hard thing to do. And that's it. So that's how to just do this. And I call that, this is called a UI card and all that. So that's how to design the section. It's not a hard thing to do. So every other thing here is something you can do. To create this, I think I've already showed you how to do it. It's just a rectangle. Click a rectangle. You click on the stroke. You take off the fill, and then you get this. Create, give it a corner radius. Type whatever text inside. That's how to do that. So it's very easy to do. The same thing you do here, the same thing you do here, the same thing you do here. It's not a hard thing to do. It's very easy and all that. So every other thing here is already something you are used to doing. This is also a field icon. This email sign is a field icon. If you come here and type maybe email, see it here. Click on this, click on SVG and download. It's very easy. It's not hard. And then you scale, and that's it. So that brings me to the end of today's class. So your assignment basically would be to design every single thing here. It's not hard. Please, I beg you. I'm going to post this now to the group after the class. I'll send you this image and all that to the class, to the class group, WhatsApp group.